Three, two, one. Hello and welcome to episode 147 of Ruse Radio. We are back at it again. Ruse Radio, Ryan Raymond, double R. What? We got a very special guest in his house. Sir, please introduce yourself.
Hey, Ryan Raymond, person of interest in the stand-up scene in Chicago. Like, the FBI was making building a case against us, and they had like all the, the twine and the pictures of people. I might be like way down at the bottom, like over there. I'm like, they have a file on me, but I'm like not important enough to be
person of interest,
up on
though.
The board. Yeah.
POI. That's like that's not nothing, is what I would say. Like it a lot of these comedians, they call themselves comedians, but could they say that their face is on a piece of paper inside of a national security state, like somewhere inside the building? There is you, and maybe one day they'll return and they'll come back to you. Like maybe like 10 years down the line, you might achieve a lot of success.
Yeah.
They start to see your face. They're like, hold on, we've seen this guy before. Oh my God, the documents. And
right,
they go back. That's a possibility in your future.
I doubt that. But
why do you think they're interested in you?
Well, I don't think many people are. I'm just saying, like, I'm just making a comparison here. It's just how, I'm like how I view myself in terms of like who the big hitters are. I'm like, I'm around, but I'm not anybody important. Like I might get arrested they might try to flip me, but no, I'm
person of interest. I just like that. I like that introduction. I like the idea of saying, like, I'm a person of interest in my side of my industry. That sounds. That's so vague, but it sounds important.
That is. I feel like that's a good skill to have, is being vague yet somewhat important.
I think that's kind of like that's salesmanship 101. Like that is how to be a good public speaker. Is you're just vague enough. You sound like you're being specific, but only so much, Yeah,
the second you even like apply any amount of logic to it, you're like, well, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like this doesn't add up to this.
But by the time you think about that, I'm already on to the next thing, and you're like, okay, well, let's move. So.
Yeah, you gotta like feel it out, dude. You kind of have to. You kind of have to like I think that a lot of things start with the feeling before it gets to the thought. Like, I think we know that about our reactions at the very least. That's just biologically true, that you're going to feel and you're going to react faster than you're going to think about something. So sometimes you'll have a reaction, you don't even realize why you had the reaction until afterwards when you're thinking back on it. But it's like a reflex. That's what reflexes are. And I think it's the same thing with the things that people say, and when you're talking, I think you feel it before you even say it, and then you figure out a way to make it make sense. But really, you just felt it first. It wasn't the thought first.
I think that's kind of how I live. Like all of my interactions are just vibes based only. Like if the second I start thinking about things is when like it all goes to shit. The second I put even a little bit of thought into something, it's overthought in my head. So,
like, let's not do that.
Right?
Yeah, vibes based only. I mean, like, I've learned that with songwriting, I'm sure joke writing is the same. That is the better approach, is to not kind of over analyze it. Like, you can do things that are smart, but you can't get too smart with it, if that makes any sense. Like, you can't like over intellectualize it, because then you're not. It's even like, if you got to think, if you were in an audience, you were perceiving this for the first time, like you don't want to over jumble it with all this different shit. Like, it might be a smart idea, but it's like dumb it down. You have to find a way to dumb down these ideas.
No, yeah, I think especially like music, it's different. If you're writing a song, like it, like when you're up there performing it, like it just kind of, that is the thing. Like, I mean, there's different ways. I know there's different ways to perform it, and like not every performance is exactly the same. But like, I don't know, like with jokes, I feel like the more I like sit down, think about it, like try to write like an A to B punchline, like it's always overwritten. It's too like, I don't want to like, it's like too up here. Like it's too like intellectual, and I'm just like, fuck. And then I go and I tell a joke about how many teeth I have. That I just like vibed one day, and it was like, oh, that one worked, But like this one, I'm really trying to like make a comparison to like I want to talk about like what the Democrats are up to. I'm like, I just have to stop. Like, just stop trying to like you know, like,
Well, maybe that one day though, that vibe will come,
Right,
And it
right.
will be the moment for you to say it. But you're recognizing within yourself, it's not today.
not getting away with it. So it's, you know, you just kind of have to.
Well, it's like catching yourself where you're at, even.
Right.
You know, like it's like figuring out what you're even supposed to be saying right now. You know, rather than like getting outside of yourself and overdoing it. You've been you're talking about Power Hour earlier before we started recording. She's in Mike Dwyer there, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
He seems like a vibes based only guy.
Yeah, Mike's a good friend. Yeah.
And that's why I like him so much, because like I can tell when he's on stage, he's literally just 100% like a stream of consciousness. That's the first thing I thought when I saw him perform. It's like one of those things where it's just a guy kind of communicating with you. Like that's all he's doing.
Right.
He has jokes, but he like the way he does it is so seamless.
Yeah, it never that's one thing I really like about his style is like I've seen him, you know, when you're a comic and you're going around to all these mics, you see people do the same jokes over and over, but like Mike, it's never the same twice. And it's always like, all right, what kind of mood's he going to be in today? Because like maybe if I catch him outside before he goes up, I'm like, oh, he's going to be loud and angry today. Or maybe he's like, but yeah, it's like, yeah, I like Mike a lot. And that's a guy who will 100% not lie to you about a single, like, he'll just, like, there's times I've gotten off stage and he's like, I don't know what the hell you were doing up there tonight. And I'm like, okay, thanks, Mike. I appreciate the honest feedback.
Yeah.
Right.
You need that though with comedy, right?
Yeah, but then when he says, "Oh man," it's like you're figuring it out. Like you like that was like great pacing tonight. I'm like, okay, so, like it means more coming from somebody like him who
Because you know he's honest.
Yeah, because he straight up told me I sucked the night before. So
yeah,
which happens more often than not. But
I mean, have you ever seen the movie Whiplash?
Yeah,
you remember the quote from the movie? There's no more dangerous word in the English language than the word. Or no more dangerous two words in the English language than the words "good job."
Oh, okay.
And that's the idea. That's why he's such a harsh teacher. That's the whole thing. It's
Right.
like he's saying to him, you know, telling you did good is actually going to damage you and make you complacent. Like it's better to tell you did bad. But of course, you can take that too far. That's kind of the whole idea with the movie.
That actually I kind of relate to that a bit because when I first started, I started like a little bit older than most people do. So, and I had been like in bands and stuff when I was like in high school, like punk rock stuff like that. So I was like not afraid of being on stage when I first started doing stand up. And a lot of like people were like, man, like you seem real comfortable up there. And I like took that out of my head. I'm like, oh, I'm a fucking natural at this. Like, hell yeah. And like, so for like the first 3 months, I thought I was like I was gonna like crush it, and like I'm like Netflix. Like people say 10 years, I'm coming at you in 2, you know. And then like that's a hard crash. Is like when you first start out, people like I don't know, like encouraging you a little too much can like be a little detrimental to your growth. I feel like.
Well, it's kind of why it's bad to have such success early on. Even like some people get way too successful way too early, and it's really bad for you.
Yeah, I see it happen a lot. There's people I'm like they're coming up started after me, and I'm like, okay, you got this, and then like they kind of build a following, and then they're crashed, like they're done in 2 years, and it's just like, okay, I'm like, you should have just like chilled a little bit, like put it on the back burner, but we're like, no, like I don't know, like I can't say that I wouldn't do the same thing if I were in that position, but who knows, you know?
It's just hard to tell. I mean, it's hard to know because I think that music's the same as comedy. I think you need 5 or 10 years before you're actually good at it. You think you're good, and then you get better and better,
Right.
and that's just really anything you ever do. But music is the same in that you're building out a voice and a craft, and you're kind of figuring out what you're doing along the way. And before you know it, you kind of start doing things and really becoming yourself. Like you kind of you form your own thing if you do it right. And you don't do that within a year or 2. You do that within 5 years. It's just the way it works. There's no way around it. And like unless you're some type of rare like diamond in the rough, just like needle in a haystack.
Yeah,
Those people exist, but they're rare. They're not. You're not them. Don't think you're them. That's the point. You're not them.
Right. No.
People think that they're that. They're not.
No.
And so it's that, you know, it's kind of figuring out how to navigate that and how to be aware of it. Oh, but if you catch success, like, what the fuck? You're not going to.
You're right.
You're not going to not.
You're not going to turn it down.
Exactly.
Right. Like it's I don't
Social
know.
media makes it worse because you can catch it like that. Nowadays, more than ever, it is so difficult to become the professional that you need to be to excel in your field, to become the person that consistently delivers, because we live in a world where you can do one great thing and you kind of feel like you just gotta keep doing that thing. You gotta keep recreating whatever it was that initial greatness was, rather than propelling yourself to become the man who always blows minds. No matter what, I'm always gonna come into this room and blow a mind with my expertise. And I think we need more people like that. I think it's so important that you have this mindset that is constantly pushing you towards greatness, trying to climb up that ladder towards whatever the pinnacle of your personality is. And it's kind of this invisible thing that you're chasing, but you got to know that you're chasing it, right? And I think that's how you become a professional mind blower. That's how you become the guy who blows minds every day, every night, anytime you open your mouth. And I think we can all be professional mind blowers. I think you are one, and that's why I made these t-shirts. We got smalls, we got mediums, we got larges. We can make more sizes if you so please. They're $25, and that includes shipping. It's a great way for you to support this show and let the people know what you are. You're a person that blows minds. Now say, you know you're a professional mind blower, because you are. We all know you are. But you don't want a t-shirt. You aren't really into that. Well, don't worry. We got you covered. There's this little thing we like to call Patreon. $5 a month, the price of a coffee, the price of a beer at the bar, and you are letting us know that you love this show and you're helping this show grow. I want to have as many people in this room as possible, and I want to talk to all these interesting folks about all the interesting things that makes them who they are. And the only way I can continue to do that, the only way I can continue to show you the mind blowers of the world, is with your support. So please let me know that you like what we're doing here. It really does mean a lot to me, and it means a lot to me that you guys even tune in at all. And it doesn't take that many of you to make the Patreon a foundational thing that really can make this show a lot bigger and better. And that's the goal. I want to make this as big as it can possibly be. I want to get a team behind this. I want to have people helping me, and I want to be able to make this a process where I can constantly give you guys content, and I can constantly show you guys what I see, which is an infinite foundry of inspiration within this world, within other people. And so please help me to do that. Please let me know that you like what we're doing, and it will feed me with the inspiration I need to keep this train moving forward. Also, last thing I got to tell you guys about is I've got a show coming up. As you watch this, if you're watching it at the right time, don't you worry. Very, very soon, you can catch me live. April 12th, Tim Perez and Friends. Shout out Tim Perez, friend of the show. I am one of Tim Perez's friends in that Tim Perez and Friends catalog, and you can see me and many others live at the Bug House Theater on April 12th. It's a birthday celebration. Tim is turning 30, I believe. 30. He's turning another decade in the chronicle of Mr. Perez. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be an existential crisis on stage for all of us to witness. I'm super excited. A quarter life crisis, if you will, but approaching midlife crisis. What's in between a quarter and midlife crisis? A mid-quarter life crisis? Let me know in the comments. Appreciate you guys. Please turn up. It's going to be an amazing show. It's going to be a bunch of amazing artists, and I will dazzle your brains with my dazzling ways. So please, I hope to see your beautiful faces there. If I don't, you got another chance to catch me live. You always will have another chance to catch me live so long as I walk this earth. All right, now we were talking about success in comedy.
Like, I don't know, are you familiar with like the vouch auditions?
That sounds really familiar.
So like,
is it related to the casting couch?
Maybe. No. It's put on by the Comedy Gazelle online magazine, and what they do is they host these open mics, and you get and then they pick 3 people from this open mic to go audition at the Laugh Factory for bigger spots, and people turn up for these I've seen people come as far as like Cincinnati, thinking like they're gonna come to this audition for an audition, and that's what's really gonna that's what's gonna break them, like that's what's gonna make it happen. I'm like, I've got no delusion that I'm ever going to get picked at one of these things. So I always go up and like have the loosest best sets. And then one time one of the guys who was hosting, he was like, man, I actually kind of went in there and fought for you tonight. And I was like, don't do that. I'm like, if I get picked, I'm like, I don't know if I got picked, would I even want to go do that? I'm like, I don't, because like in my head, I'm never ready. Like, I'm like, I don't think I'm ready for that. Like to like go be like on Laugh Factory stage, like auditioning. I'm like, I would probably turn it down. And he's like, no, you fucking wouldn't. Quit lying. I'm like, yeah, you're right. But I don't know. It's kind of like I'm in that weird, like you said, like the 2 to 3 year phase where I'm like, the first year you don't know what you're doing wrong. So it's like, it's fun in that way. Like I look back at like some of like my first albums I like recorded. I was like, those are like really bad, but they've got sort of like this charm to them. Like I wouldn't make that mistake, now, like, because I know not to make it now, but I didn't then, and I went ahead and recorded it anyway. It's kind of how I feel with like the comedy was going like that first year, and now like the second and third year, it's like, okay, I know every single thing I'm doing wrong, and I'm like, it's like battling to get out of that like stage of like into
Did you
that.
see yourself doing it wrong in real time? You're saying?
Yes, yeah, like I like every single time, like yeah, I had a weird stretch where I was trying to, I guess, I don't know, I thought I was going to be the next Andy Kaufman or something, and I was doing weird shit, and like once again, like people told me to fucking knock it off, and they're like, I get what you're trying to do, but it sucks and nobody likes it, so stop. And I'm like, oh, I wanted to be like the wrestling heel that everyone hates, and I'm like, no, that's not what. It's not even what like Kaufman was doing. So I'm like, it was dumb. Like I was like,
well, Kaufman was kind of doing that.
Kind of doing that, but like you can't do it again.
No,
it's been once. It's done. It's over. Like
that's kind of part of the genius of him,
right?
Is that he did it before anybody else. I kind of call him like the first troll. Like he was the first real troll because he found a way to just displease people, but also attract attention so much.
Right.
And if you do exactly what he did, I think he's kind of a genius. You can't.
Oh, well,
I mean, you could still do things like it. Like I think what was it? It was the actor, he just played the joke, Joaquin Phoenix. If you saw his movie I'm Still Here, I think it was called, and it was with Casey Affleck, the director. So it's Ben Affleck's brother. But the movie is a biography about Joaquin Phoenix, the real life person.
Okay.
And in the movie, he wants to become a rapper, and he's like being himself. But he really wasn't being himself. He was playing a version of himself in the movie. And the movie culminates into him going on David Letterman and as this version of himself.
Right.
And then you can see David Letterman's reaction. You can see, and when he did this in real life and everyone saw him turn up on David Letterman, they thought that was really Joaquin Phoenix.
Right.
So you can still, if you're smart enough about it, you can still do Kaufman-esque things.
Right, like Nathan Fielder's really good.
That's another good example. Yeah, that's a very good example.
Really good at that. But the thing is, like, these people have spent years and years and years, like,
the same idea,
getting good to know why they're breaking the rules, like, and why, like, what is like actually subversive and funny about what they're doing versus doing it just to piss people off. Like, no, it's like there's a deeper meaning behind it. Like,
well, and Andy Kaufman walked that line with unlike anyone else.
Perfectly, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Eric Andre is another I like all those like weird meta guys, and like you try to like, I guess, emulate the people you like a little bit or like take inspiration from, but it's like there was like a good 3 or 4 month period where everyone just fucking hated everything I was doing, and it was like I would like go to the bathroom during the middle of my open mic sets, like that.
Did you really?
Yeah, I'd be like in the middle of my set, and I'd be like, hold on, I gotta use the bathroom, and like people hated. I gave Joe Fernandez at Will's, I gave him a half-eaten sandwich, and like out of a gift bag, and that was my entire bit for the night. And he's like, I'm so what the fuck is happening? And then that's a night I went outside to have a smoke, and Mike Dwyer was out there, and he was like, I could see he was like visibly mad at me. He's like, what the fuck was that? And he's like, you tried that shit, I get it didn't work, stop doing it. He's like, just stop doing it. I'm like, okay. Like,
did it get a bad reaction in the moment? Like the whole thing was bad?
Yeah. None of it was good. Like, I thought in my head, this is going to be fucking hilarious. But I learned pretty quick to stop doing that shit. Like, but, there's ways to be, like, weird or offbeat that are actually, like, also just go tell a joke. Like people will. I feel like a lot of people try to do stuff to stand out, and without understanding why they're doing that. You know, like
absolutely, yeah. I mean, again, it's just every art form. You know, like you have to learn the ins and outs of it. The ins and outs of it. That's Ruse's brilliant mind at work right there. But in Second City, I remember seeing the quote on the wall, but I've heard it before. I just looked it up the last episode right before we started filming. I was talking with Stephen Black, and so now I remember it's Pablo Picasso. But the quote is, you have to learn the rules before you can break them. Like a true artist has, I'm paraphrasing, but a true artist has to learn the rules before they can break them. And that's every art form, you know? And it reminds me, too, when I had Matt Bowe on this show, and he said something to me about, like, how when he started comedy, he liked it more because he didn't know the rules yet.
Right.
And now that he knows the rules, it's kind of harder. It's more stressful because he's on himself about everything he does. Whereas before, it wasn't really like that. It was just kind of you're just doing it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's exactly like how like I'm feeling like in my head like right in this moment is just like what the fuck like am I doing like
and again though the vibes based only thing though it's a balance because you can't do that too much because then you're gonna not be in the moment and you're gonna be overthinking everything and stressing yourself out and truly you shouldn't even be doing that. You should just kind of be feeling it out and then just doing it. Right. But it's hard to do that when you are also trying to get better. Right. So you have to criticize yourself. Right, you have to be like... You could fall back into that Kaufman state.
It's like, what worked about... Like, last night I had a pretty good set, and I was like, what... I'm like, all right, what was it about that one in particular? And I'm like, well, I just, like, kind of went up there with, like, you know, like, let's just fucking do whatever. And it's like, okay. It was like, it was great. It was, like, real loose and comfortable, and, you know, like, everything kind of flowed well. And I'm like, all right, how do I do that again? I'm like, like, next time I'm going to go on stage, I'm like, let's recreate kind of this loose, not give a fuck attitude. I'm like, well, now I'm forcing it. So it's like,
I mean, I think the only way you could really do that right is like think around it. Like, what were the conditions that led to that moment? Like, do you even know? Is there a way to figure it out? I mean, was it just the room that day?
It was a good room, you know. It was power hour. It was a fun night. Good drinker. You know, I think I probably hit my magic number of beers. It was like, all right.
That's the number you needed.
Right. It's like, all right. Yeah. It's like, okay. 4 is like, I'm loose enough. I'm ready to go. And I'm not slurring my words yet. Like, okay, let's keep that in charge. So,
that is a thing. Because I think about that when these comedians go to open mics throughout the night. Like, damn, like the 2 a.m. mic must just be a bunch of drunk dudes.
It used to, like, I used to, like, have that in my head because that's one thing everyone always tells you when you start out is like you need to be on stage as much as possible. And like with my job and like, you know, I have a girlfriend who I enjoy spending time with. Like I can't be out every single night. I'm like that's a young man's game. I'm way too old to be doing that shit. So
how many mics do you go to then?
I go to like 2 or 3 a week.
That's still a decent amount,
right? And like usually towards 2. I kind of have picked my spots that I'm comfortable at, but which I need to stop. That's another thing is like stop going to the same 2 mics every week, like and expecting different results. But I was trying to like hit every single mic I could, and like when I was out, I'm like, all right, I'm going out on Sunday. Let's hit the 5:30 mic at a live one, then let's go to Will's, and then after Will's, we'll trek over to Reed's Local and do that late night mic. And like, I was like, what am I getting out of like those, like all of these, especially that last one? What did I get out of that? Like, I'm trashed because I've been drinking since 5:30. Like, it's midnight.
It's hard to learn when you're wasted.
Right. It's not even like learn. It's just like I just go up there and I'm like, okay, it's the same exact jokes I did, but now I'm like, I guess I learned, like, I guess it is useful. I learned not to, you know, do mics at midnight anymore. Like, it's like just.
You're not that guy, bro.
Right? Just do the 1 or 2, and then just have fun for the rest of the night, and just like, also like there's something to be said about the hang. I think that is a little more helpful than just rushing around mic to mic and trying to get on stage like as much as possible. I'm like, because there's a lot to be learned like at the bar, you know, before and after your sets. Like,
well, not only that, like that's a lot of what people don't understand. I think that's where a lot of people fall short because then they get mad and they act like it's all gatekeeping and it's all this and all that. But you don't stick around and communicate with people and like make it known that you're cool. Because if you just did that, you're way more likely to get booked and people will look at you like, oh, they're like a part of, they're going to talk to us. They're going to be a part of the community. don't get me wrong, like you're going mic to mic to mic, you can't stick around forever. But it really is effective to just say hi. Like literally just that.
That goes a long way as well. Yeah.
Yeah, because they remember you. They're like, oh, that guy came up to me and he said hello. Literally just that is better than just nothing. Because, you know, and there's so much value to it too, like you just said. You can learn so much from those people. That's the other part. Is like you not only can you stick around and watch them and just see how their sets go and learn from that, you can talk to them and you can learn from. Sometimes they'll be able to like punch up your bit or something. They heard you earlier.
Exactly. Yeah,
they can tell you something and you'll be like, oh my god, they're right. It's just anything. It can be literally anything. That's the beauty of humanity. Truly, is like, you know, you can learn something from people. You just got to give yourself a chance.
Right. Yeah. No. It's that's another thing about it too. Is like one of the reasons I started was like because I always wanted to like do comedy in some form or another. But it was like I had just moved to this city and I didn't really like I had like zero friends like because I had been living in Northwest Indiana and I moved over here and I'm like I don't know anybody except for my girlfriend's friends and they all kind of suck like not all of them if she's listening to this like she knows the ones I like but yeah I'm like I gotta find something to do that is like not hanging out with these fucking weirdos. So I was like, I'm like, I always wanted to like do comedy, and like I heard, but I was always like scared, you know, like I'm like those people work so hard. You got to try. Like you can't just be anybody getting up there and telling jokes, and then like turns out that's the exact opposite of what is true. I'm like, you can literally just be anybody up there as long as you wrote jokes, like, and it doesn't always go well, but you're not going to get kicked out of the scene for sucking as long as you're not an asshole. Like, don't be an asshole. But I was circling around some sort of point there, but whatever. That's how my brain works. It's like, start somewhere, end up over here.
What is it? Like the people who, I think that, for one, you like, it's the people you surround yourself with. I think the comedy community is a good group of people.
Right.
So like I think that is a cool thing about comedy in particular. I think like that's what I find myself like that's kind of why I like doing the podcast with comedians, really. Is because I think that there's a reason comedians do podcasts. Like it's not just that they're the people who are on top of that industry just because. It's like comedians just bullshit with each other all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what they do. It's just how they operate. And you kind of need that in life, I think. Like always, my best conversations I've ever had with my friends is me just bullshitting with them and us just getting somewhere through that somehow. And that's what comedians do through jokes and through talking to each other. Like it's built into the framework of their brains, and it's just my brain resonates with that. So I feel like it's a good community to be around.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Kind of lifts you up a little bit.
The funniest stuff will happen off mic, like like outside, like
you always hear like people talking about green rooms,
right? Yeah, like at the bar at a mic or like outside smoking. Like that's where the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life happens, and none of it is repeatable. Like it's
right.
It's like what is that?
Could not broadcast that.
I don't know if you know what those are called. Like those like monks, they'll like draw in the sand and they'll spend like hours and hours like making this beautiful piece of art in sand, and then they like immediately wipe it away. I'm like, that's what like the hang jokes are.
Yeah.
like just forget about it. Don't even like, you might have just said the funniest thing you'll ever say in your life, but don't even try to take it on stage. Like it's not gonna work, and you might get arrested for it. Who knows?
Yeah. But it's a great time.
Oh, it's the best. Yeah, that's what I was kind of like saying. Like, don't be one of those people who like, just like tries to like rush around and do every like like I gotta get on stage 4 times tonight, or else like stop and like think about like what's your end goal here. Like, do you understand? Like, if you make it, like you're missing out on the best part of it.
Right.
Like it's the best part of it. Like the grind is there, but I come on, man, it's 4 or 5 minutes. You're up there. Like, look around and like enjoy what's happening in your scene and like with your people. Get to know people. That's like, don't like miss the forest for the trees or whatever that fucking saying is. You know, like just kind of look around and enjoy. Like, oh yeah, maybe like the real comedy was the friends I made along the way, sort of thing, like, or whatever.
Great way to put it.
Yeah.
That is a great way to put it. I can't remember what the quote is from Ferris Bueller. That's what comes to my mind. Like, life moves pretty fast. If you don't slow down and look around, you just might miss it.
Right.
It's the same thing. Like,
exactly.
But it's hard to recognize that. It's kind of like a Zen philosophy to understand that truly what the value is in this moment, right here, right now, not this future thing that you're projecting onto you. Like, if you want to be successful, you're thinking you're getting all this way up to success, and then, but I always think of it like, once you're there, what is that? Like, are you just going to stop doing things?
Right.
No, it's going to be the same exact thing you're doing now. And so it's like, do you want to do this forever? Or what's the version of this you would do forever? And if it's, like, rarely ever would that be a secluded person just going mic to mic to mic to mic. You want a community around you. You want people to kind of, and also, if you just look at the people who are successful, it's always that. It's like a net of people around them, and they all prop each other up in a lot of ways. Almost always.
Right.
Rarely is it ever like a single person that just comes out of the woodworks.
I mean,
in entertainment in particular.
Right. I've yet to hear of, like, some weird solitary lone wolf who, like, did it all by themselves and, like,
it's impossible.
I'm like, yeah, you gotta like just chill out. Like, I think it's a lot of it is me being older, because, like, when you start older, you don't necessarily become, like, good friends with the comedians who are your age, because a lot of times they've already been in this 10 years, and they're like, I'm not wasting my time with this, like, rookie who just showed up and whatever. Stick around a while, kid, and then maybe we'll be friends. So you kind of become friends with the people who started around the same time as you.
Yeah.
And so a lot of my best comedy friends are, like, in their mid-20s, and it's hard to, like, relate to them on a personal level sometimes, and I think part of that, like, they have this, like, grind set mentality of, like, I got to get on stage, and I'm like, you're young, you still think, like, something good is going to happen in your life, like, like, it's not, like, once you kind of realize that this is as good as it gets, life gets a little better. And I think, like, I'm not trying to be a defeatist. It's actually, like, freeing. It's like, no, you're not gonna make it. You just, like, chances are you're not gonna make it. So you might as well enjoy trying.
Yeah.
It's like, I know where my ceiling is.
And if you make it, that's better. If you make it, that makes it better, because then it's like, I didn't even expect this.
Right. It's the same thing, like, when I was playing in bands, like, it was, shitty punk rock bands. I'm like, the last thing we wanted in the world was to, like, make it.
Yeah.
They're like, we're just doing this because we, like hanging out with our friends, and, like, we have guitars, so let's do it. Like, let's get down there and, like, put on our own shows. That's another thing I really do like about comedy, is it's like the closest thing to, like, the, like, punk rock community I had, like, when I was a teenager, because it's very, like, DIY, like, it's very, at least in Chicago, very open and accepting of, like, all, like, doesn't, like, I know, like, Harold always says, like, as long as you're funny, like Harold Patrick, I think he's got, like, some Zen quote he's got tattooed on his.
Well, what I put on I titled it, his podcast was called Funny Triumphs Everything.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. See, it's like, we don't care if you're gay, straight, white, black, whatever, like, as long as you're funny and not an asshole, then, it's very welcoming and opening, and I really enjoy that. And it's also, like, just kind of gritty and DIY. Like, you go down to, like, the Lincoln Lodge is a great place to, like, catch an independent show or anything, and it's, like, not put on by, like, the Laugh Factory or, like, this giant corporation. It's just, like, this small little independent venue, and it's, like, a great place. Like, it's, the bartenders behind the bar are comics, it's like everyone who works there and, like, pitches in is a comic, and it's awesome.
And it seems like, I mean, even on a massive scale, with how Joe Rogan just opens this giant community, and he basically moved a big part of the comedy community to Austin, DIY, grassroots.
Thank God he did that.
It's just crazy to think, like, that is, like you just said, it's very punk rock, the comedy community, to just have that happen.
Yeah.
Because it creates a whole new hub, like, just right there.
I mean, I'm so thankful that he opened up that scene in Austin, because
it was kind of already starting, right? And then he just brought
yeah.
a big mass of people to it.
Either way, it's attracting all of the worst comedians from other scenes to get rid of them.
Yeah, right.
It's like,
Just the idea of like a purge.
Right. It's like, I don't know. I don't know how familiar, like you like pro wrestling, right? Like,
Yeah.
Are you a, like, I always feel this way about like when AEW started. I was like, oh, you're getting, like, you just created this company for the most toxic, awful fans, and now they're all doing that.
That's hilarious.
And now,
that's a great comparison.
And now I can
AEW,
just watch WWE and enjoy it.
Yes. So I want to make this make sense for people who have no idea what you just said. So AEW is kind of like, for people who watch wrestling, most of the people who watch wrestling, like WWE, that's what most people think of it as. Of course, there's other things, but that's the massive corporation that most people are familiar with. When they look at that and they watch it, they think about storylines, they think about storytelling, they think about like the arcs you can create and the stars you can create, and like it's about who you connect with, and it's about the way it makes you feel, right? That's what it's mostly about. Of course, then within that you have athleticism, and within that you tell stories through matches. But it's that framework that it's all about. It's that and that's what Vince McMahon is so genius for. Is he really kind of made that format work?
Right.
It's the undeniable truth about him. Like of all the shits he shat, that's the one thing that you cannot take away from him, and that's why so many of those stars from that company, they won't even say anything bad about him still.
Yeah.
They'll still be like, like John Cena will say, I don't know, man. To me, he was pretty cool.
Right. Like, The Rock. Like, you look at someone like The Rock, like arguably the most famous wrestler
of all time.
Maybe Hogan might be the other one that, like, depending on how old you are.
It's arguable because the age gap is what makes it hard to tell.
Yeah, but neither one of them were really that great in the ring. Like,
it was the storytelling.
Right.
Exactly. And then AEW, on the other hand, is take away all that. Take away all that and just give it to a guy who has a bunch of money. It's so funny because when people say it's like a kid playing with action figures,
it exactly is. Tony Khan is a coked out maniac.
It's crazy.
Allegedly. But it's like
it's just the funniest concept to me that it actually even exists. You know? You're like, people are almost breaking their spines on television.
It's
to satisfy this millionaire
for nothing either. Like, for no reaction. Like, when Cody Rhodes was still in AEW, like, it was the funniest fucking thing in the world to me, because he was doing, like, he like went through that flaming table at one point, like got his back all burned up. I'm like, for what? They hate you. Yeah. Like, they hate you because you're trying to be a character, and like you're trying to like put on a story and tell a story. And
it's strangely meta, just like everything in pro wrestling. So like the reason they hated him was because he wasn't aligned with what they wanted his character to be.
Right.
He's telling a certain story, but they're all saying, turn heel.
Right.
They all want him to be a bad guy. And they're like trying to force him into it. And meanwhile, he's cutting like kick-ass promos. They're just treating him like shit. It's just crazy. But that's the toxic fan base, like you said,
right.
that it attracted, because it wasn't the people who enjoy this stuff. It's like the people who just
are online complaining about give them exactly what they want. They're going to go online and complain about it. Like, well, I didn't want it like that.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's the fucking thing you've been asking for.
Yeah.
For years, and it just happened, and now you're bitching about it. Like,
and it's a shame, because truly what AEW represents is the same thing that what TNA represented. It's like, we need an opposition to WWE that's actually good. And when it first came around, that's the hope that was within it. That's why so many stars were attracted to it. It's crazy that even Edge turned up when he did, because it's already going downhill.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, it did represent something, and it was like back to the Monday Night Wars. Like, it goes all the way back when it was WCW and WWF, and that made it better. It was competitive.
Right. And that was, I mean, I wasn't like hoping that AEW would fail from minute one. Like, I thought it would, but like I wasn't hoping for it. I was like, I'm looking at all these people he's bringing on, and like he's allowing, like, Tony's like, oh, people can have their own creative control and do their storylines the way they want to do them. I'm like, there's a reason.
Yeah.
Like,
there's a reason you have WWE creative. Like, there's a reason you have a creative team and you have writers you hire.
Right. It's like,
just look at Jericho 2016 beyond. You know what I mean? Like, just observe that. Just look at Jericho now.
I've never that might be one of the biggest fall offs of all time in wrestling. I'm like, he went from, like, because right before he left WWE, he was doing some of his best stuff.
He's
like,
still a legend.
It was awesome, and then like
with like his feud with CM Punk, love that.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of other stuff right before he left. I mean, he brought the list back a couple times.
His feud with Kevin Owens was great.
Yup.
It was just like, then he shows up in AEW, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Jericho? Like, and he's like, and he gets on his podcasts and stuff, and like, and he's like talking all of this shit about WWE, like, and how they treat. I'm like, the second you're done with AEW, and you know they're gonna call you up and ask you to be in the Hall of Fame, your ass is on that plane.
Yep.
Like, the second, like, I'm like, stop. It's like, just stop with this bullshit. Like,
It's a shame. And and the thing about AEW too, with letting people do whatever they want, wasn't it Ric Flair that had another match in AEW?
Like, or something like that. Yeah, it was like against like Jeff Jarrett or something. Like,
I can't remember.
I don't know. Did
I thought it was a younger person?
Did Flair? No, I'm thinking of Sting's last match. That was like some stupid like tag match with the Young Bucks. Like,
yeah, I think I remember.
I was like,
I guess WWE does pull that shit too, right? Because they did Undertaker and Kane versus. It's always at the Saudi Arabian shows
because they have the money to say it. That's the like the WWE version of Tony Khan playing with his action figures.
Exactly.
They're like, we're gonna give you billions of dollars, and you're gonna get Stone Cold Steve Austin and fucking Chris Benoit to come in. It's like, Benoit's dead. I'm like, here's money, get him there.
Figure it out.
Figure it out. Yeah.
We have a 10-year contract, okay? It's crazy, dude, because sometimes I remember I'll see they're building up a storyline that's kind of cool. I'll be like, oh, damn, they're really going to do that? I think it was Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns. I was like, oh, damn, they're really going to do that? And then you see it's at a Saudi Arabian show. You're like, oh, this is totally inconsequential.
Yeah,
this doesn't matter.
This does not mean anything.
You don't even have to think about this.
Right.
But they'll do random things like, oh, my God, like you said, Andre the Giant's back, and he's going to face fucking Cody Rhodes. Wait a minute, what?
Right.
But I guess that's cool. And then you realize it's at the Saudi Arabian show. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I essentially could get the same exact thing out of just putting in WWE 2K. And
yeah. You know what's also fun about these shows? No women. They just don't have women at the Saudi Arabian show, you know, just cause. Just cause.
I thought they had started allowing them, but they had to cover up.
Dude, I mean, I get it, because like you're adapting to their culture, but it's just an interesting like thing. Like, you know, like at first they say no women, now they're saying, all right, it's cool, but just be modest.
Right.
That's actually, it's kind of progressive of them,
right?
If they're going to allow it.
WWE changing the world for the better. I've always said that. They've never done a negative thing ever.
They're trying to be more international. That's like the next big move. I mean, it's kind of cool. I think since The Rock turned heel last year, I'm really interested. As we film this, it's 2 days before John Cena's supposed to turn up on Raw for his first real heel appearance. And I'm really interested to see how this plays out, because I think when The Rock turned heel last year, the way that they managed to do that was very interesting to watch. And if you're somebody from the outside looking in, you don't really pay attention to wrestling, you look over, oh my God, The Rock's on Raw. What is this?
Yeah.
And then you see him talking shit and telling people they have AIDS. You're like, what is going on here? But that's a great way to attract people. That's what they were known for in the late 90s, is kind of pushing the boundaries. I wish they didn't. It seems like they only really do that when it's a lead up to WrestleMania. That's what bums me out.
Yeah.
That's what they did last year. Now they're doing it again. I wish they just fucking pulled it all year. It's so good they have CM Punk back.
It's hard to keep that momentum, though.
It is.
It's like you got a couple good stories or, you know, moments in you, and then it's like it's hard, like, because they don't take a break. There's no like season, like, you know, like TV shows, like they stop for a bit, you know, and then like there's like 6 months that it's off the air. Like
same thing with SNL.
Right.
Same thing. They never ever took a break.
Yeah, it's just take like in the season, like just give these people like maybe 2 months without wrestling to kind of like, and then get people itching for it, and like you might not have that fatigue.
You could do that. It would kind of like, I think people would accept it because it'd be like any other sport.
Right, there's an off season.
Yeah. Like, why not? Why don't we obviously, it changed the money machine. That's probably why they never do it. They'd be like, well, that's 2 months we don't make money. But, oh my God, can you imagine? I bet the wrestlers would be so much happier.
Probably,
Their bodies, they probably live 10 years longer. If they just had 2 months for their body to chill, they probably would live longer. I stand by that. Yeah. That's probably true. Because they never, ever take a break. Like, obviously, you're going to continue working out, but just the bumps. All the times they're falling flat on their face.
you just seen Mick Foley walk?
Yeah.
It's hard.
Jeff Hardy, he's one of the people you can look at.
I'm
like,
surprised that guy's still alive.
Jeff Hardy, Ric Flair, the amount of times he's bled. It's just, bro, but I always try to communicate what's cool about wrestling through things like this, where it is like, it's the meta thing. It's where The Rock turns heel. It's where John Cena turns heel. It's where like the audience has an expectation and it's flipped on your head, and then you're excited to see how they play things out. And then if they're smart about it, if the writing's good, like Bray Wyatt kind of is another person that really kept me interested.
Oh yeah, he was great when like.
It's such a shame he passed away,
right?
Because he was really onto something,
right? And like
when he debuted, dude, with the Wyatt family. It's a crazy thing. That was 2013 now, but I remember when they started those vignettes, and it was just like unlike any. It was basically like the Undertaker, what he was in the late 90s, or like what Kane was. Right. It's like having this outlandish, spooky character. You haven't really seen anybody do that in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, it's like that cool, like weird, like swamp, like preacher, nice southern dandy boy, but then he'll like be vicious and like fucking murder you.
Like crawl around like a spider.
Right. When he first came in, he was great. I was like, towards the end of his run with the Fiend stuff, I kind of tuned out of that. Like,
which is crazy because it kind of is what made him so much more popular, right?
Right.
Like it kind of blew him up way beyond what he already was. I think it's kind of like a band where like you like them for what they were, but at the same time they're going to naturally evolve.
Right.
Like there was no way it would be the Wyatt family forever.
Right.
Because I loved the Wyatt family. Like to me that was the best shit going on in the company.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing like that. That again, like with The Rock turning heel, I'm really hoping John Cena turning heel is that. I hope it's like the best thing. Because what people don't know about John Cena, that motherfucker's like, he's like all-timer. He's one of the best of all time. Like people make fun of John Cena, but dude, that guy is a fucking pro if I've ever seen one. Just watch him take a shirt off, okay? He does it within a split second. You gotta be a pro.
Yeah, and he's like one of the, like, I knew he was like gonna be one of the all-time greats. Is like, I don't know, did you ever see the ECW One Night Stand or whatever? Where
I never saw it, but I've heard the legends.
Where he was going against Rob Van Dam inside,
like, and they hated him, right?
They hated him, and he was like, and he took off his shirt and he like threw it out into the crowd, and they kept throwing it back at him, and like you could just see like the look on his. He's like, the wheels are turning. He's like, I'm gonna keep throwing the shirt back out, and they're gonna keep throwing it back at me, and they're gonna fucking hate me. Like, it's like it's one of the best moments in like Cena's career. I think is like that he was smart enough to like be in the moment and be like, okay, I'm technically the heel, like, or I'm technically not the heel, but I am the heel in this building tonight. So let me fucking work it. And it's just genius. Like, and yeah, like, say what you will about him, his 5 moves of doom or being not that great of a wrestler, he's one of the smartest people ever. Like,
yeah, I think like people recognize it more now than they used to, because when I first really started watching it was like 2010 2011, I think. Kind of like, I didn't watch it when I was little. I watched it when I was like 13 is when I really found wrestling, because I was a friend that had a bunch of DVDs he brought to me, like WrestleMania 23, and I'm like, oh my god, what is this? But I remember, and for folks listening, I don't know if it's the only one, but if you look up IWE, Internet Wrestling Entertainment, you can see me wrestling with my friends on a mattress. We like use that as the match. They like where we can choke slam each other in RKOs out of nowhere, out of the mattress.
We did the same thing on trampolines when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's the way to be. If we had a trampoline, that's probably what we would have done.
Right.
But anyway, what was I saying? I had a friend, WWE. When I first started watching, so 2010. What the fuck was I gonna say? I think I lost it.
That's all right.
One and the same, you and I. I just talk and I go places,
right? You'll end up somewhere. It might not be where you.
It reminds me of the Michael Scott thing. Like, sometimes I start a sentence and I don't even know where I'm going. Like, it's always what I'm doing.
A lot of times, I've had jokes start that way. I'm like, sometimes like. I'll just come up with a premise, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I bet if I set this joke up, and if I just start saying it, magically a punchline will just appear to me in the moment, and like, kind of like that adrenaline, and that has happened maybe once.
Yeah, right. Never happened.
Ever. But it's still useful to do, I think, sometimes, like, because you at least know for sure what not to do and what direction not to go in with it after that, because you can be like, okay, like, all right, that was not like that ain't it, Chief. Like, but it's still a decent premise. Let me see if I can get there now. But I was gonna go in this direction, and we just found out that did not work at all. So yeah, it's kind of fun. The only way to do comedy is to do it.
Yeah.
It's rough, man. It's like, because there's no way to, like, everyone's like, I've seen people like asking online and stuff. They're like, how long should I like, write and practice by myself before I get on stage? I'm like, all of that time that you're wasting all of your time. I'm like,
yeah,
spend a good 2 weeks writing jokes and then go to a mic like the second you're going to do it. Like, don't be like me, kids. Like, I spent like years being afraid to ever get on stage, and now I'm like, that's time I wish I had back. Like, it's when I first started, like, the reason I got started was because I've always wanted to, like, do it, but I was scared. And then someone at one point were like, look, dude, you're 35 right now. Like, in 15 years, you're going to be 50 years old.
No.
When you look back at being 50, would you rather you can be 50 and have had 15 years of experience, or you can be 50 and always wonder what if, what if, like, if you never went up there. So it's like, it's like, yeah, fuck it. Like, try, like, get up there and try. And then I told myself, I was like, all right, I'm going to, it was like a New Year's resolution thing. Like, I was one of those fucking jagoffs, but it was like, let's go up. I said, I'm going to do at least one open mic a week for an entire year. And then if I don't think I'm getting good at this, or I don't think I'm getting any better, nobody thinks I'm funny, I'll quit. And I'll at least know that I tried. And then, yeah, it was about 2 or 3 weeks in, like, somebody laughed at something I said really hard. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to never stop this now. Yeah. Like, it's like, but then, then you get it, like, in that little pit of the second year where, now you start to know what you're doing wrong, and you feel like every single joke you ever told or wrote was the worst joke ever.
Post that clarity.
Right. You just want to, like, you get off, like, there was like a good 4 months where I felt like not a single set I had was worth anything at all. Like, and the thing is, like, if I recorded them and, like, looked back at, like, the sets I thought I was crushing when I first started versus the set I just had, like, that I thought sucked, I'm like, objectively, the second one is better.
Yeah.
Right, because I'm better now. Like, but it's your expectations too. It's like, because back then I was like, oh, somebody laughed at one joke I said. That's great. Keep going.
Yeah.
Now I go up and like, somebody only laughed at one joke I said. Like, that's not good. That's not a good ratio. Like, it's, yeah. So, like, yeah, your expectations shift. Like, the longer you've been doing it. Like, I've seen people who, like, have had sets that I'm like, man, I would kill to have that reaction, and they get off stage and they're just not happy. I'm just like, what is, like, you need to chill out, man. Like, just relax a bit.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and it kind of goes back to that whole, like, just being in that moment thing, right? See, it's interesting to me just because that's kind of what scares me away from even trying comedy. Because I know it takes forever to get good. I know all these things. Like I said, I think that's how music is. I think it takes forever to get good. So I know if I were to start it, it would be a whole lot of just like, I'm pretty sure I can convince myself in any moment, like, I don't even care these people didn't like what I did. Like, it doesn't even matter to me. It really doesn't matter. But with music, it's easy to do that because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I can write it in a vacuum and introduce it to you, and I can evolve upon it myself. I agree with what you said before about, like, the principle, though. You do have to show up, and you have to do it in front of people. You have to do that.
Yeah,
you can't just create in a vacuum. But I can get away with a lot more of that. And so I just fear the self-loathing that would come from such a thing. Because it's no wonder these people get off stage hating themselves.
Right. I've gotten a little bit better within these last 6 or so months of not letting it get to me. It's like, it's some nights still like suck, but it's gotten a little bit better where after I get off and I'm just like, well, that didn't go good. And
yeah,
it's like, all right, so I guess I'll go get some beers at the bar. And
in a way, though, that is kind of the benefit of the people who go to multiple mics a night and this and that. Like, you would at least curb that more. Because say you have a bad set one mic, you have a great set the other mic.
Right.
So it kind of evens it out. You didn't just have the good one, you didn't even just have the bad one. You get a balance of it.
Yeah, I can definitely see the benefit of that. But like like, especially since I got rid of my car, I'm like, it's too tough to fucking get around the city. Like, hit multiple mics, like taking CTA or Ubers. Like, I was gonna Uber here today, and it was like, I forgot it's St. Patty's weekend, and it was gonna be $65 to Uber to get.
If I could whistle, I would do it right now.
Yeah, so I ended up, like, luckily it was a nice day, so I just took a Lime scooter the whole way. But fuck, man, that was like $65. I'm like, god damn, like,
That's crazy.
I know it's. I mean, it's a bit of a hike to get here because I live in Logan Square right now, so it's a little bit of a, like, it was about a 45-minute ride, but
that's I work down in South Loop.
Okay,
so
yeah.
when I go to work, it's about 60 minutes, or about an hour.
Yeah, so it was.
And that's on the red line, but if you drove, it's about the same. It's about
right,
40 minutes.
That's one
minutes.
reason I got rid of my car. Is like it was going to cost more to fix than it was worth, and it was like, I'm kind of tired of paying for insurance and a parking space at my apartment, and like worrying about where I'm parking the fucking thing, or the like getting a ticket. I'm just like, fuck it, let's just get rid of it. And
what's interesting that
I haven't missed
you
it.
can even do that, being
Right.
in a city like in Chicago in particular, because there's not, like, back to Austin, pretty sure what I hear about is it's not walkable. It's not a walkable city. You're driving everywhere. Whereas like somewhere like here, or I guess not, it's not great if you don't have a car is what I should say in Austin, because it's not like there's public transit that's going to get you all over the place is my understanding. Whereas somewhere like here, it's a whole integrated system.
The grid.
That's not even that confusing. I think New York City, they complain it's a little more confusing. I think people say San Francisco's a little more confusing. Like, I've heard that other places aren't so simple. The grid, like you said, there's a grid.
It's a grid. So like really you're theoretically 2 buses away from anywhere.
Theoretically, yes.
Theoretically, yeah. But
unless it's like 2 a.m. in the morning.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you got like trains to deal with, but
that's where New York wins.
right. No, it was St. Louis, where I'm originally from. Like the thought of not having a car in that city would be like, you'd be insane for thinking that.
That's how it is where I'm from.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just kind of part of life. You get a car. Right. And if you don't, like, you're relying on people for rides or something. Yeah, there's no other option.
It was the worst.
I ride an electric skateboard to work. Okay.
Yeah, I've got like a little e-scooter that I take. So.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like a whole different world to me sometimes. Like, sometimes I just think about that. Like, I'll be on my way to work and I'll be thinking like, damn, bro, this is my life right now.
Right.
Like, my life was not this before.
I love it. Like, especially because it sucks for the 3 months a year that it's like bitter cold.
Yeah.
But like, if it's in the 30s, it's not too bad.
I agree with that. And like what I've noticed is in my brain, I always I over anticipate the winter. So I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be fucking, it's like winter is coming. Right. Winter is coming. And then when it comes, it's like, oh, this isn't even that bad. It's like, it's snowed probably like 20% of this winter.
Right. And we had 1 week in February, it was like negative temps, and then it was like back up to 30. Yeah. Like that's part of it, is it's just been getting warmer, and like, that's just a fact. So I think it's the Chicago winters of old, I think, are gone, like probably forever. Like
shout out global warming. Can we
yeah.
just keep that up? Can we just keep up this temperature for a little while? Right. I'm actually enjoying it.
Yeah. Right now.
This is actually nice.
Yeah.
As long as no volcano erupts, or as long as nothing crazy happens, then I don't know the science, okay? I'm just saying let's keep it warm.
Science isn't real.
But. Yeah, exactly. I don't believe in all that. I just want it to be 90 degrees year round.
Right.
Can we make that happen here in Michigan, here in Illinois? Is that possible? Is there any compromise we can have here? Because that would be. Can I talk to Greta Thunberg?
Right.
I could make something happen. Is what I'm saying.
It's like, chill out, lady.
I've got some ideas I could present to her.
Maybe
we could put a heater in the Great Lakes, a heater in the Great Lakes. And I got plenty of things I've been thinking about.
Yeah. Get that fucking building. No,
really, though, it's so nice to have it nice here year round, because that's what they say. They say Chicago's the best city of the year for 3 months of the year.
Right.
That's what they say, and they're right, because the other 9 months is still great, but it's not as it was during those 3 beautiful months.
See, I'm not much of a like I run hot, so I prefer it to be a little bit on the cooler side. So those
I'm the same way.
3 months of summer, I'm like, we could deal. I could do without this. But
yeah, I'm kind of a lizard, or is that what it is? No, it's the other way around. I don't know what the thing is that likes the cold. The lizard needs it hot. It's the other way around. But I had a car actually my first 2 or 3 cars, I'm pretty sure. no heat. Okay.
Oh god, yeah. My first car did not have a heater. It was
That changes you as a person, I think.
right.
And that's my theory. Is it actually makes you harder? Like it makes you because when you're driving and you are bracing the cold. That's a whole different state of mind. Okay, that's not just driving casually. And once you do that enough times, and then I will add to that. I had a house that I was staying in that was my sister's house, and it was like an older house that was very poorly insulated. So if I ran the heat, it costed me so much money.
Right.
And so I just had no heat on during the winter, essentially, which was not so bad when I'm upstairs where my bedroom is.
Right.
When I go downstairs, dude, I would like put a jacket on. I would put like pants on. I would make sure I'm bundled up to go in the kitchen and cook.
It's just never did the old prop the oven door open while you're cooking to heat the rest of the house?
No, I would no.
You're not supposed to do that. It's extremely dangerous.
Sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah, but like after I would be done cooking, I would leave the oven door open. And, like,
sounds kind of nice.
after I turned the oven off, like don't have it on while you're doing that, but yeah, I would just kind of prop it open and the heat would dissipate into the rest of the house.
Oh, I wish I would have known.
Yeah, you grew up super poor. You learn these things. Like it's.
But again, like that resistance, I feel like that might have been. You might not have naturally ran warm. You might have made yourself this way.
That was an adaptation. Yes.
Exactly. But I'm the same way. Like right now, when the temperature it is right now as we film this, it's about like 65 degrees out.
Perfect.
Exactly.
We could have it like this forever. That would be great.
Yep. Like I'm in shorts. I'm in a shirt. I don't need anything else. I don't feel too hot. I don't feel too cold. I feel perfect.
Right. Like I said, it's perfect. Like divvy or lime weather to like get around and like
the sunshine. You know, it's
fucking love it because it also like helps you like learn the city a little bit better than you would like just plugging GPS
absolutely
into your car. Like you kind of have to know where you're going and how to get places, and it's
because you can't just be constantly looking at it. You'd have to go through a whole process just to, unless I don't think most scooters have a mount for your phone, and even then you don't want that.
I don't want to. Yeah, I wouldn't trust that. Like
no,
this is a $2,000 device in my pocket that has all my personal, like my entire life is that phone. I don't want to fucking damage that. Like
yeah, right. Oh my God. One time I remember, I still think back to this moment. Sometimes I was on one of those boats that just go out and you look at the skyline with my mom. It was before I moved here. And I took a picture of the skyline. And I remember I think back to like, oh my God, I held my life over the edge of the boat.
Right.
What was I doing? If I had dropped that phone, it was over.
It was like Michael Jackson putting the baby over the...
He basically did what I did.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it's crazy that's. But you said that because holding the phone out, the phone, you can't lose the scooter. Yeah. It would be crazy. It would be crazy to lose your phone like that, and also learning the city. Yeah, that's totally true. Because, I mean, when I go to work, so I'm way up on the north side. And so when I'm going to work, I'm basically just taking the trail the whole way there along the lakeside, which is awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, nice.
But so for one, you kind of get like at least that map of things real quickly. You know, I could basically tell you how that whole 10-mile path goes pretty fast because I've done it so many times. But then, you know, say you have to take a detour. Well, now I have to learn like all this other shit. Because like, dude, sometimes they'll just close shit down downtown for no reason. Yeah. It's so annoying, actually.
The president thought about coming to this.
Yeah, he didn't even show up.
He's like, oh, yeah. He's like, I'm going to be there. It's like, okay, I guess we'll close down all of downtown. It's like, okay.
And it's infuriating because you'd at least think there'd be like a sign earlier in the day, something to tell me later on you can't be here.
Right.
Like just the other day, I was going back over because it's where the bridge is. Along the bike trail, there's the bridge right next to Navy Pier. So it's like you go along where all those yachts are and the boats and all that, and then I think the bridge is right next to it. But it's right next to Navy Pier. So if you know where Navy Pier is, you know what I'm talking about. They closed down the bridge. And it's like so annoying because now it's not just like turning around and going around it. It's like this is the only... To just get here, I had to go 5-10 minutes out of the way, and now I'm figuring out you're closed. So now I got to go the other 10 minutes back and then go back this way again. You just added like 25 minutes onto my commute. If I would have fucking known this, I would have never went this way.
Right.
It just drove me nuts. But that's the type of thing. as soon as it gets warmer out, this starts happening again. I'm just getting the beginning of it for this year.
Oh God, it was when I was on my way to Power Hour last night, it was like 70 something degrees, and I'm like, people forgot how to act. Like people were just losing their minds, like walking around outside, like people even like in cars, like forgetting how like the laws of traffic work. I'm just like, God damn, like I could get the fuck out of this neighborhood. I do not like Logan Square.
Speaking of my skateboard, I was riding home from the gym the other day. I remember I was going straight because it's like a bike. You kind of just have to take it on the street. You can't ride it on the sidewalk because it's bumpy and shit. And I don't know if you noticed, but the sidewalk sometimes has like jagged edges that could fuck throw you off something like that.
Right.
Even I don't know if the scooters are so bad. I think the scooters might handle it a little better, but a skateboard not so much. So you have to ride on the street. And so I'm going on the street, going like probably like 15, 20 miles an hour. And then this truck, I can see it. It's like, and it was the first day it was warm. And they were starting to pull back. And I was like, they are going to pull right in front of me. And they're going to pull right in front of me.
It happens all the fucking time.
And then they fucking did. And luckily, I had like enough space where I could just easily swerve onto the sidewalk. But if I didn't have it, or I wasn't paying attention to them, one of those two things.
Yeah. How do you brake on one of those?
It's got a remote.
Oh, it's got a remote. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like you push forward to accelerate, backwards to brake. But you got to be easy on the brake. That's what it is. Like you have to be.
Right. Because
you can't just fucking stop. Because it's not like. I mean, even on a scooter you can't. But it's not like you have any. I think on a scooter you'll flip right over if you try to stop like that.
Yeah. If you try to stop like immediately, you endo. But yeah.
Motorcycles the same way. So yeah, it's But Logan Square.
No, I fucking hate it.
You don't like it?
Hate it. I'm moving in at the end of the month, so think.
You know where you're going?
Irving Park, like.
In relativity to Logan Square, like how far away?
It's just a little bit northwest of Logan Square.
Okay.
It's off. It's still off the Blue Line, is where our new apartment is. But
how does that work? How do you pick that?
A lot of it was just kind of like my girlfriend is real picky about the type of place she wanted to live, so. It was more of all of the conditions she wanted met at this place. So she wanted to be on the top floor. She didn't want to share walls with neighbors. We needed to be close to transit, and it just kind of happened that way. So, we'll be there. But yeah, Logan, I I thought it was going to be cool moving, like living there. I'm like, this is a hip neighborhood. I'm like, lots of cool stuff, lots of good restaurants. And then like the first day I was like there, I saw somebody walking a cat in a stroller, and I was like, I fucking hate this. Like, I'm too old, and I'm too like I thought like when I lived in like Indiana and Southern Illinois, like I was like the most liberal, like left wing person around. And like now that I've lived in Logan Square for a year, I'm like, I might be a Republican. Like like who knows? Like
it comes with age,
right?
That's what they say, right?
Like,
we all grow up to be our parents somehow.
Somehow.
I understand that a little bit though, because it's living. You weren't surrounded by it before, right? You never lived somewhere like. I think in a city, like what was saying what. You said St. Louis?
Yeah, St. Louis.
What was that like? Was that like that at all? You ever see anything strange there?
I mean, there was. That was when I was younger, and like I said, I was like kind of in like going to like the punk shows all the time, and was in punk bands, so I kind of sought that out a little bit more.
Yeah. But now you're older.
Now I'm older, and I'm like a little like I still go to like see punk shows and have a good time and stuff, but not the way I used to. And I'm like, and also I'm like, unless it's an older band, I'm like it feels weird being my age, like going to see like teenagers like in bands. I'm like, oh, it's still fun, still same energy, but like I just, you're not supposed to be there.
It's like going to a college party.
Right.
It's like, shouldn't be there.
Should not be there. I'm like, just wait.
What's this 40-year-old dude doing?
Right?
It just kind of like is like a even if they don't say it, it's like an unspoken. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer though.
Right. And so it's like, okay, so just wait till the legacy artists or whatever like do their last tour and go through, and then you'll be good. Like it's like, okay, I'm like, that's why I like really started leaning into like I don't know if you're familiar with the band The Hold Steady. They are like punk rock for angry old people. Like just like I've once heard somebody like describe like their fan base as like just slightly cool.
Okay.
Like they'll have a leather jacket, but it'll be brown.
Yeah.
You know, if you kind of like get the like stepdads who get a little too hyped up when they have glasses of red wine. Like I'm like, okay, this is like old man music, and I'm like, I can finally like, I'm like, all right, I'm still punk though, still punk as fuck. I'm just being.
Is the band themselves older?
Yeah, they've been around for a while. They've they were in like they've been around since like the late '90s. So
how is it? Like, what makes it that way?
It's just kind of like they've been around a while. Like they're real like poetic with their lyrics, and it's like kind of weaving like storytelling in and out of it. And it's like it's kind of like Bruce Springsteen if he was punk.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's just kind of like that vibe where it's like they kind of never the type of band to like have real young people at their shows in the first place. It was like this is music for adults. Like, and once you like, I think you have to like age into liking bands like that. And I'm like, it's kind of like, you know, like it's an acquired taste, just like, you know, like wine or beer or whatever. Like you don't start off liking it when you're 16, but eventually you grow into it.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you feel about Tool?
Tool, they're so pretentious, man.
I saw on your Instagram story you like just posted. It's funny because like that 2 days ago when I got stopped at that bridge, I remember I was listening to Tool when that happened.
Yeah.
I hadn't listened to Lateralis in such a long time. I just listened to it again. I liked them so much when I was younger, but I love Tool, but I could see how you get that perception. I mean, come on.
They're not for me, man. It's that's one thing. It's like I kind of have a bit of a reputation like in like amongst like Chicago people. Like, oh, Ryan, he's so nice. Like he'll like sit down and like I've never heard him really say a bad word about anybody. But I'm like, and now you start talking about like music I don't like, and like then I might like start offending people because like I have very, very strong opinions about music. Like I would tell bands that I played with like to their face that they sucked and I hated them, and it was like
my problem is
I would never do that with comedians.
I apply that same mentality towards comedians to musicians, and I really should just be honest with them.
Yeah,
because I know what I'm talking about. Okay, I just know I have that confidence within me. So if I can see you're doing something wrong, I should tell you. But I'm too nice. I'm like, oh no, like good job. Remember we said earlier about good job?
Yeah.
I should not be saying that.
What's your go-to with like when somebody asks you for feedback and like
I didn't like it?
Yeah, if you did and you didn't like it, like what?
I try to be politically correct in such situations. That's always, it's like talking like a politician. It's like what we said earlier at the very beginning here about being just vague enough.
Yeah.
It's kind of that where it's like, my answer should be honest, but I should also not tell you I didn't like it. Whereas a comedian will just tell you shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to say like something like, oh, you know, I thought it was like a very inspired thing. I really like the thought behind it. Like, you know, right. I think that like
I could see where you were going.
I could see what you were doing there. Like, and like I think that there was a lot of intentionality to it, and that's the type of thing I like.
Yeah.
Can you see how I said nothing bad there?
Right.
But truly, I was so vague.
No, I would always just straight up tell people, like when they ask me, I'm like, I would just say, thank you for writing that. And they would be like, and sometimes they would follow up on it and I would just let it go. And they're like, what do you mean? Thank you for writing that. I'm like, well, now I don't have to.
You're setting it up.
You know, I would just say thank you for writing that, and then like if they didn't follow up, I would leave it alone. I wouldn't like just burn them to burn them, but I'm like
that's such a zinger though.
It was just like now I don't have to write that. Thanks, you know, like I'm not going to be responsible for that. So,
well, you know, that's what I always say about people who are bad. Really, it's like it's actually good you can tell they're bad, and you should expose yourself to some bad things.
Yeah.
Like you can't just watch no bad movies. You can't just listen to no bad songs because then you don't know what the good stuff actually even is.
Right. Sometimes I like the bad stuff just because it is bad.
The novelty of it.
Right. It's like, oh man, like this is like it's kind of like why people like, I guess, you know, like The Office so much is like I don't really care for that show, but like a lot of people did like for like the cringe of it. It's just like, oh, what is it like? I'm like, oh man, like I'll see somebody up there having like just an absolute like dog shit stand up set, and it might be the funniest thing of the night to me.
I enjoy that type of thing. Yeah,
like that's one thing. Yeah, I was always kind of wondering. Like you said, you don't do comedy, but you like hang out at mics, like and like comedians. I'm like, what kind of fucking weirdo like are you? Like, because half the time I don't want to be at the mics, like with these, like watching it. Like, I like going. Like I when I first started, I'm like, oh, I have to sit and I have to watch everybody and I have to be respectful. And I'm like, you learn pretty quick. Like, you don't have to watch everybody.
Yeah.
Like you can go, and as long as like you're not just like, as long as you're not just at the bar waiting for like and not in the room, like and only coming up doing your set and then leaving, like that's bad. Don't do that. But I'm like, if you stick around, you watch 5 or 6 people. No one's really gonna get too upset at you if you're at the bar afterwards. Like, but yeah, I was like, when I first started, I was like, oh, I gotta watch everybody, and I'm like, that's a good way to burn yourself out and like hate comedy, because it's like a lot of it's not good.
Wow.
A lot of it. So I'm like, I'm always like Will's one of the Northwoods and one of the Sunday mics I go to a lot. There's like regular audience members there who are just there to watch the mic, and I'm like,
isn't that interesting?
like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like
type of lunatic.
And then like I asked her, I'm like, why do you do this? And she's like, oh, I love like the car crash like of it all. She's like,
what is it? Something bias, like negativity bias, or there's a word for it where you just want to see the worst things.
yeah, like the like I don't know if it's Schadenfreude. I don't know if it's that, but yeah, she's like, yeah, I know, when people are good, it's enjoyable, but she's like, we really enjoy it when like somebody just goes up there and like eats ass, and it's just like, oh man, like you guys are so mean, but thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like, yeah, so I'm always.
And
like,
I think you see a lot more of unrefined stuff at an open mic too. That's
Well,
the
yeah,
other.
I mean,
You see more raw stuff as opposed to a show where it's
band
all
practice.
developed. Yeah, and so that's kind of part of the appeal too for me. It's like you don't really get a lot of that. You don't really see, like, again, with music, you don't see me working out my song. You don't see
Right.
me finding my song. You don't see me failing so much.
Right.
Usually when I present it to you, it's what it is. And so it's
Exactly.
kind of cool to see that in real time. And yeah, it's the same thing. It's a train wreck. It's nice to see the car crash. I mean, like, I feed off of that shit. Like, dude, I love it when somebody is that bad that they just like, you can tell they are nowhere near what we are over here. They don't understand that they're bad. That's what's the best part is that they don't know. Like, they think they're doing it right.
there's I won't name any names, but yeah, there's a couple.
There's a lot of that.
There's one in particular who like I'm just like,
You can tell me once we turn that camera
oh
off.
yeah. But I'm like, how have you lived your entire life without a shred of self-awareness?
Yeah.
I'm like, do you like? It's okay to like be unfazed by a bad set, but I'm like, I think you genuinely think you are doing great. And I'm like, and it like I just want to live inside your head to be like, just does nothing faze you at all? Like
It seems blissful.
yeah, I'm like, it's kind of like when like the people at my work, I'm like, they're like, I see them walking around the office and they're like happy. I'm like, you must be stupid, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like if you're happy at an office job, like this has got to be like as good as it gets for you. I'm like, I don't know, like
I feel the same way about like any day job a lot of the time. I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't want to escape this?
right? No, I like see that's the other thing too is like I'm never gonna be happy at a job ever.
No, me neither.
And the second you tell me I have to do something, I don't want to do it. Even if comedy was my full-time job, like I think I would hate it.
Yeah,
But, like,
right.
if I had to do comedy to put food on the table, I would fucking hate it.
I mean, in that, I think like even though I hate a day job, I also think like I would always want to at least keep like one thing like that around, like where I
Right.
could just do a day job once a week. That actually would, so comedy doesn't become the one thing. Like, so music
Right.
doesn't become the one thing. You still have a day job. I think it's actually smart.
Yeah, like and like I know, like I said, like my, like I know where my ceiling is. Like and for me, like this is just like it's a hobby I do. It's a hobby. It's like I take it seriously, but like I have no delusions that I'm gonna ever make it. Like so, I guess yeah, it's kind of refreshing just to be like, all right, well here let's see how good I can get, but I'm just gonna see how good I can get for my own sake.
Yeah.
Like
it's in the end, it's always you versus you.
Right. Like I want to improve because I want to improve, not because I think if I improve so much, I can hit this many followers on Instagram, and now people will start booking me more, and then I can get on, all these like different shows and podcasts and stuff, and really make it. I'm like, I don't know, that sounds like miserable.
Yeah.
Like it to me, I have a couple friends, one in particular who like is a full-time like working road comic, and I'm like, man, like sometimes he's like, haha, all you suckers are like stuck at work, and here I am at the beach, and I'm like, yeah, fuck you. But then I'm like, you're gone every weekend, like you're on the road, you're like, I'm like, when do you ever get like a chance to like chill?
I mean, with great power comes great responsibility, right? I feel like it's just the strange thing about success in general is that most of the time that's what it ends up being. It's like you get there and it's actually so much more pressure and so much more work than you ever had to do before. And I think that's why you always hear the same stories. It's always like, oh, I didn't realize. I thought I was going to get successful and it was just going to be better. But in the end, it's not that ever. And then people just hate successful people naturally because we all want to be successful. We hate rich people. And so we look at these things and we're like, oh, well, fuck you. Your life's better than mine. But it's just a whole different set of problems they have. Like, you don't want that pressure. You don't want people scrutinizing the shit you do. You don't want to feel like you have to tour every weekend.
Right.
You don't want to feel like that because when you feel like that, you never can break out of it, really. There's so much more on your shoulders. Just doing this show, I've done... Like, you reached out to me and you wanted to come on.
Yeah.
And there's more and more of that happening. And that's interesting to me just because it's the same thing we're talking about. It's like, if I continue on the path I'm going down right now, this is going to go up and up and up. And eventually I will have to say, I can't accept everyone. I can't take
That's
everybody on.
One reason I saw like who you were starting to get on. I'm like, I better ask him now before he's like, like, no, who the fuck are you? No,
exactly.
Get in line, buddy.
You're on the ground floor right now.
Right. I'm like, let's get in early. No, that's one
but
thing
it's dangerous. It's hard to, you can't escape it. That's the trap of success is you want it, but you don't because it's not easy. You have to manage it.
Yeah. No, it sounds awful. Like, but like I said, that's just going back to something we were talking about earlier. It's just like, it's the second I'm told this is what you have to do, I immediately just don't want to do it because of, like I don't know what it is, like, but I've always had like issues with like authority telling me.
I don't even like to do the same thing twice. Like, I hate the concept of like falling into a pattern. Like, what's nice about a podcast is there's always different people. So it's never just my state of mind. It's like you kind of have this collaborative thing where I can't even make it on my own. So it forces me to do something new every time. It's like an improv act almost.
Right.
Whereas like, even when I'm doing music, every performance, I'm saying the same words, but the feeling is different. And what I'm providing right now, whatever state I'm in, is going to be different. And it's using that and putting that there.
Oh, yeah.
But it's always that. And so it's like, I can't even write the same song twice. Like, I like to challenge myself and find new ways to do things.
Right, yeah.
And so, like, but you need that, and so you fall into patterns.
Do you ever, like, resent, whenever I was in bands, like, our most popular song that everyone liked was the one I hated the most.
Yeah.
Like, it's that sort of thing. Like, it's, like, people tell me, oh, that's good. I'm like, well, then I have to hate it. Like, it's, like, I don't, like, I get, like, this is probably to my detriment, too, is, like, I get real bored telling the same jokes. Like, I'll probably run a joke for about a month, maybe 2 months, before I'm like, all right, I don't ever want to tell this joke again. Like,
yeah,
because it's like and I'm not like some prolific writer who, like, I'm not one of those guys who sits down with a notepad and forces himself to sit down and write for, however long a day. Like, I'll just, whenever I think of shit, like, I'll just type it into my phone. I'm like, okay, like, we'll come back to that later. But I'm like, I get so, like, I know you're supposed to, like, work and really refine these jokes word to word. But I'm like, I don't have the patience for it. Like, like, because it's like also, like, that's just like one of those rules. I'm like, that's what you're supposed to do. So I'm like, well, I don't want to do that then. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I would rather go up there and just like eat a big plate of ass and like suck almost every single night. But I'm like working new stuff. Like, it's like the second, I'm like, oh, people know this particular joke of yours, and like, let's go, like, they like tell it. I'm like, yeah, but I know it's gonna work, and that's not exciting to me. Like,
Yeah.
it's like I know it's gonna get a reaction, and I'm like, and also I'm like with a lot of these open mics, I'm like, you guys have all heard it, 700. Like, what am I getting out of like, other than just the rep of like me telling you this joke you've already heard 500 times before?
Well, and like, you know, if you do it that way too, I feel like you could build up a mountain of jokes faster if you're always trying new shit, but you still keep that stuff on your belt, right? You still have like 10 solid jokes, and you know they work. You ran them for 2 months. You could pull it out at a show, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like I'm not saying like, yeah, I'm talking like specifically at like mics.
No,
like,
but what I mean is, what it is, like, that's a good thing you do that, because then I feel like you would develop more material more quickly by just constantly cycling through things.
I mean, not
rather than getting stuck on something, you know.
It's like I know a lot of like comics and people like refer to like, you know, it's like, you know, the spaghetti at the wall kind of like.
Oh, what's that?
You know, you just throw out a ton of shit. Like you know, you always used to say like you could tell spaghetti was done if you tossed it at the wall and it stuck.
Okay.
And that's how you knew it was cooked long enough. So yeah, you just throw spaghetti at the wall and you see which noodles stick to the wall, and you're like, okay. So I'm like, but there's a ton of noodles on the ground that like just there's like so many jokes like that I'm like. Because I don't ever go up there with the intention of telling a bad joke. Like people who know me might think I'm full of shit when they've seen like the stuff I've attempted to pass off as jokes. But like I never once go up there being like, oh, this is gonna suck.
Yeah.
Like I'm always every single like I don't ever bring something on stage if I don't think it's at least somehow funny. And it's like trying to like they're like you know, your kids, like you want to like nurture them and grow them, and like come on, this one's really gonna make it, I think. And then like much like kids, you have to get rid of them if they're not successful. So like it's like just throwing shit at the wall, and like, and that's part of too, like I'm in that like pubescent stage of my like comedy time where it's like I don't really know what the hell my voice is yet, and it's like trying to find it. I'm like, am I the angry political guy? Am I the guy who goes up there and does weird jokes about like Oliver and Company, the fucking like Disney movie, or like, you know, or either the Kaufman-esque kind of weirdo guy who like
with that,
like what are you doing? Like,
yeah, with trying different things. Do you do that a lot then, where you even like change your entire tone? You're saying, or you just try to do something completely different.
Yeah, and it's like it's taken a minute to kind of like I think I'm starting to like get into a groove of something that like, because I also don't want to do something like have like a persona that works if it's not something I creatively want to do. Right. Like I probably could like focus and just kind of be a little bit more standard comic that kind of does your A to B to C punchline kind of thing. But I'm like, that's never what I would want to do. It's like, you know, like when I was in bands and stuff, I'm like, I could write pop songs, but like I don't listen to that and I don't enjoy that. I'm like, I probably could make like a little more like conventional stuff and maybe get a little further with it. But I'm like, creatively, I'm just like, like that's just, I don't want to watch that. So why would I want to do that? You know?
Yeah. But it's like that dance again with like being too. There's a book over there, I brought it up before, Writing Screenplays That Sell by, I think it's Michael Hogg, I think is how you pronounce it. But it's towards the end of the book, I think, and he makes the point that like a good screenplay, maybe it's at the beginning, I can't remember. Read the books, boys and girls. You don't even, because I'm not even trying to write a screenplay. I was just reading it to see like kind of what the ins and outs of that is, because everything's kind of storytelling in a way. And I thought it was really interesting. They say at one point, he says, a good screenplay is one that's a balance between making you think and making you feel. And I think that's the tough part, is walking that line. Like you can't go too far into the thinking and you can't go too far into the feeling. The feeling is where you get that Kaufman guy. Like he's just too much into feeling where he's not even, there's nothing there. Whereas the other thing is, if you're too far into thinking, now you're just talking to people and just intellectualizing at them. You can't do that either.
Right, yeah, because like I like have like
you're talking at people, I should say.
Yeah, you're just going up like if I go up and like I have like a what would be like, you know, a good point on Twitter about like that's a joke about the current administration and what they're doing. I'm like, because I think about these things a lot, and it makes me angry and it stresses me out. I'm like, well, let's see if I can take that to the stage. I'm like, nobody fucking wants to hear your political opinions
Right.
on stage. Like, you have to be like, you have to learn how to write jokes about your fucking dick that get over. Like,
Before you can ever make a joke about Doge.
right. Like it's like if you want to do that, I guess. I mean, you can go like apply to write for like, you know, Jimmy Fallon for his monologue, like those little like one-liner weekend update jokes. I guess you could do that, but I'm like, it's excuse me. I'm like, it's just yeah, nobody wants to hear it. It's a lot of comedy is learning what not like try everything and then like just as long as you like learn, like don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, like, I feel like that stuff works in a vacuum, you know? Because like you said, there are markets for it. But you take that stuff to an open mic, and it's never going to work.
Nobody wants to fucking hear it.
You know, once you have a developed audience that identifies with what you're saying,
Exactly.
then you can do those things. But if you're just taking it to a group of people who have no idea who you are, like what I think is, you can joke about anything. You can see, like,
absolutely,
part
yeah.
of the fun in songwriting and joke writing is I can say a claim, I can put a statement in there that is absurd, but find a way to justify it somehow. Like something I could never say otherwise, but I found a way to say it in this rap song and it makes perfect sense, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, if I say, like, I'm smooth like butter, check it out, I fucked your mother. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Can't just say I fucked your mom, but I found a way to tell you I fucked your mom smoothly like butter, you know?
Oh, nice.
So that's the fun part. And you can joke about politics. You can.
Oh, yeah,
but
absolutely.
you have
I'm
to,
not saying you can't. I'm just...
No, but that's exactly, like, you have to know the rules. You have to know... I feel like it has to be universally funny. That's what I think it is. I think it has to be funny to both parties. You just have to pick the funny thing out of the politics. What's funny about it? Don't tell me how you feel.
Right.
The best comics, you usually don't know how they feel. They just joke about what's funny about
Right,
those things. And then in the end, you think about it, like, I don't even know where he stands on that issue. He was just talking about it. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And that's kind of the trick, I feel like, is you can't get too... Because if you... It's almost like you're fighting with the audience when you start to do that, you know?
Right. Like,
You're,
and
you're
even
in
if-
like a lecture.
Even when, like, I'll be at mics and people bust out, like, political jokes, I'm just like, look, I agree with the point you're making, but I'm like, this is not... I'm like, it's just... I'm like, just tell a joke. Like, right. You're up here, you're mad, and you're just, like, lecturing at me. Like, I don't want to hear it. Like, this is not what I'm here for. Like, if I want that, I'm like, I'll throw on, like, a Seth Meyers clip, and I'm like, okay, here's my political jokes. Like,
Yeah.
my intake for the day. I'm like, no, give me, like, it's like you have to work to get to that point. Like, people, it's kind of like how, like, I know this is a podcast, so it's a little different. I can get away with this. But I would make a comparison of like how like people like Elon Musk like want all this cool technology,
Yeah.
like because they saw it in Star Trek and shit, and they're like, we need to have this. Without and like, so let's start making teleporters now, or like whatever the fuck he's trying to get accomplished, like get into space and everything.
Shout out Michio Kaku.
I mean, it's like they didn't understand like that the basis of that show was that like at the bottom like capitalism had been completely abandoned and everyone started working together as like in a communal state and like working with each other and like got past all of that. And like you have to like understand like you just want the cool shit without the like doing any of the groundwork. And a lot of that is like I think people see people like myself guilty of it, like Andy Kaufman or Nathan Fielder or George Carlin, who was known for like his political stuff, and like or Bill Hicks. And it's like you don't like those people had to do so much work. They had to build the society that was able to allow people to focus on teleporters, like to get to it's making any sense.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, and those guys wouldn't even be the same today if they were around today.
Right, if they were still around, like they would be much different. Like I mean, I'm sure you'd still like
they're like a product of their time.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to know how to fucking ride a bike before you start doing BMX. You know, like
Right.
you gotta learn to
Rarely,
pedal first.
when I always say too is like, you know, you just observe anybody you just listed. You go back and look at their earliest stuff, and it's not that. Like
Right.
You think of them as what they've become and like what they've cemented
Right.
themselves as. You don't think of them as what they were, which is something. So I always like to try to apply that to myself, you know, because you're just somewhere along the line in that spectrum. We all are, you know.
Right.
And eventually you'll be something else, and it's never really an end product. And so it's just so. Someone like Carlin, when I had Cam on here, Cam Honeyegger, just recently, he told me about Carlin. I didn't realize he did political comedy way at the end of his career.
Yeah,
it wasn't even most of his career. People knew him for other stuff almost all the way through, and then it just kind of he became a prophet.
Right.
And then he died. And it's just crazy how that works. But you're so right. You know, I think the problem is that comparison thing, that people don't think about themselves as they are now compared to the future. They think about themselves now compared to other successful people as they are now, or as they've seen them,
Right.
you know? And then you get into this kind of copycat mode, or this version where like, oh, I've seen that and that's what you're allowed to do. But everybody's just
Right.
so different. You know, there's no real comedy, especially. There's no real format. There's no real thing. No one can tell you exactly how to do it. I mean, music's kind of the same, but there's at least a skeleton. Whereas comedy, it's just open. What do you call it? Open, fucking, I don't know. Just shoot yourself in the foot and see what happens, I suppose.
Right. Yeah. Just fucking throw the shit out there and just like
Throw the spaghetti at the wall.
just see what sticks. And
Yeah.
sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes
and
it
that's
never
what's
does.
Great. Yes. And sometimes you go a whole year with nothing ever sticking.
Right.
Okay? You can it can be bad. It can get real bad. I've even heard like plenty of comedians who are known for being good, and they'll go through phases where they don't feel so great themselves. Like they'll be known as successful comedians, but they'll just feel like they dropped off for like 6 months, 8 months, and then they have one set that pulls them back out of it, and you know it's an ebb and flow. It's hard to place yourself in that, you know, and like I think that's where so much of that weak material comes from. Is just, you know, people not figuring themselves out well enough.
Right.
Yeah, because I think like most skills, you have a base level. So you're just as good as what you're good at. Maybe you're a great musician to start. Maybe you're not. But we can all get better.
Right.
And so like some people, they plateau, you know, and you see it all the time with like they might have been getting better, but then they stopped for some reason. You just see it happen. They'll start saying the same joke for 8 months, and you're like, wait a minute, what the hell was that?
Come on,
you know?
come on. Yeah.
But it's hard to keep doing it. It's hard to keep changing. That's why I say, like, I think that's really good that you do that, because you have to do it. I religiously believe like you have to kind of put yourself in different positions. Your brain wants it, actually. You want to kind of be challenged and shaped.
It's a little, I think, to my detriment as well, though, because what it creates is somebody who's extremely inconsistent.
Right.
And so people booking shows, maybe like, man, like, yeah, like they might catch me on a week where I'm going through like a string of heaters, and they're like, fuck yeah, like, let's get you on. But then like, maybe they're like, okay, you're like, what is this joke? Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't understand. And like, it's just the weeks where I'm like falling, like even like day to day, it's like, all right, like it's just inconsistent. And I don't think people like trust me. Like it's, you know, it's like,
I was going to book you, but last time you brought a kazoo.
Right. I mean, it's I'm not out of the realm of stuff I was trying there for a bit. Like, I had an idea I was gonna like.
You can now bring the didgeridoo on stage, okay?
I still have all these ideas, and I think they're funny, but it's like I wanted to hide like my own like speaker and microphone in the back of a room somewhere, and like when I got announced, like start like just turn on the speaker, like I'm not coming up there, I'm doing my set from back here, and like we're like trying to start like a competing open mic, like it's shit that's gonna get me punched, but like I think it's like I'm like trying to like. I'm like, the only people I'm pissing off are my friends and people who like I would like to continue to spend time with. So it's like that's the thing. I'm like, I'm just pranking people that I want to still be around. So it's like not.
I'm trying to think of like how you could even do something like that in a way that would not piss people off.
Exactly. Like it's.
You'd have to be like the best personality ever.
Right.
Like, dude, we can't hate this guy.
Right.
That's the only way. You have to sell it so hard. Because, I mean, otherwise they're like, what the fuck is going on here? And that's probably what they did. What the fuck is this?
Like, what are you
Mike
doing?
Dwyer was yelling at you.
Yeah. After he's like, I don't know what the fuck that was. Like, he seemed like mad and confused. Like, like he had just seen.
Why are you doing this to me?
He's like, yeah.
Like, asking you as a friend.
Like, what the fuck was that?
I thought we were cool.
Stop. It's like, just stop. And I'm like, okay. Like, and I think it was after that moment where I was like, man, I really made Mike mad. I'm like, that's when I kind of was like, maybe I'll stop this shit. Like,
Because you respect his opinion.
Yeah, because you know he tells it like it is all the time. Like it's yeah, and he's one of the, you know, he's a good friend of mine too. So I'm just like, all right, yeah. I'm like, maybe I'll tone this down. And like I kind of found some stuff that I don't say it was an invaluable experience all around. Like I think I learned a little bit of like, you know, you kind of, it's the same thing like people do with like their edgy humor. It's like they'll be like, all right, I'm down here telling thousands of jokes about black people, and it's like, and eventually you're gonna step over a line and somebody's gonna fucking hit you, and like then you have to kind of like dial it back, like okay, I found where the line was, and it's like, all right, I do, like I have a weird sense
the line
of humor.
was the N-word.
It always is.
Right.
No, it's like yeah, I do have a weird sense of humor, so it's like finding a way to like rein that in to where I'm like, because I do, like, in the end, I've always wanted to, like, I want people to be entertained by whatever I'm doing, like music, comedy, podcasts, whatever. Like, I want people to like leave being like, okay, that was worth my time. Like, so it's like finding like that line of like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Like meeting the audience where they're at, kind of in a way.
Right.
You can't just do anything.
Without pandering as well. Like,
Exactly.
I'm a fickle bitch about this stuff. I'm like, I want my creative control. I'm like, I just want you to like me for me, you know? Like,
No, but I mean, I totally understand. Because, I mean, I think that's the problem with creativity in a way, too, is that you have to try new things and you don't know if they're going to work. And so, you know, but also you have to do what the audience wants and you have to kind of do what works. In a way, you can't just completely stray from that path and just do anything. Because
I tried it didn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work, you know. You can't be like completely, you can't, it's like, you know, if you see somebody who's on the red line and they're cracked out of their mind, they're not in your world anymore. They can't communicate with you anymore. And if you just get so lost into that, like, you know, I'm a creative genius and I know exactly what I'm doing, you kind of become your own version of that crackhead on the red line, you know.
Right.
None of these people understand you anymore, and it's like you have to talk to them. You can't talk at them, but it's like figuring that out and still being creative. You know, that's what the best musicians end up doing. You know, and then I like Rick Rubin. Okay. He said multiple times on, I think he wrote a book and he says this in his book, but it's like ideas, and I've heard this in other places too, where like people catch ideas. You know, you didn't write the song. The song was just meant to be written at that point in time, and that's why it resonated with people. You caught the song at the right time. Like, you know, it's like what we were saying about why those comedians that were political, why they resonated with people at those times. They caught that energy in that moment, and then they caught where they were at that time, and it all came together. But it's like they catch you. You don't have the ideas have you. And so, you know, it's, I don't know, because I not to toot my own horn, but I've gotten pretty good at this. Okay, I can be on like 5 grams of mushrooms and write a fucking banger. But I have superpowers. Okay, It's not easy, and I think it's just because I've been in the trenches. I can look back at songs I've written like 8 years ago, 10 years ago, and I was doing too much. It's
overwritten.
It was over conceptual even. Like I had an idea that was good, but I was overdoing it and I wasn't dumbing it down correctly. Where like I can see what was good about it, but I could see how someone else looking into it would be like, "Oh, this is
what
like
are you doing?"
Exactly. And it's hard to see that in the moment.
I mean, there's a reason that every pop hit of the last century uses the same 4 chords, you know.
And it's infuriating as a creative person. That's what I mean.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, because you see that and you're like, this is completely antithetical to creativity.
Yeah.
I was going to say something when you were talking earlier. there's the story of Alexander Supertramp, and it's Chris McCandless was his real name, and he was, his whole thing is he's known like a transcendentalist, like he's kind of like an example of that philosophy where but it wasn't really just that. It was like he had family stuff at home, but he left and he was leaving all his material possessions behind, and he was going to explore the country and all this, and then he ended up passing away in Alaska. It's a great book called Into the Wild. And
Oh,
so,
yeah.
you familiar?
I'm familiar with Into the Wild, yeah.
Yeah, so it's also a movie. And so there was one thing about him in the book I remember where his sister said about him that he liked to, if he was going to go somewhere, he wouldn't bring a map with him because that took the whole journey away. It took the whole adventure away from it. And I thought, like, wow, what a genius philosophy. So I don't like to check when the train's coming before I'm going up to the train because I don't want to know if it's going to be there or if I'm going to have to wait 100% because then it's not a journey anymore. Then I'm going to be racing to get there at the moment that I know it's going to be there.
I gotcha, yeah.
But it's like just approaching life with that mentality. I don't want to know what's in front of me. I just want it to occur to me in the moment, and it's very, very smart. And it's like, but you can't always do that. You can't always.
Right,
do that
right. It sounds like an extremely stressful way to live your life. Like, you know, I need a little bit of structure and boundaries. I'm not, like I said, some like bohemian, like out there. Like, man, it's like.
I think the trick is to force it, though. I think you have to like give yourself a regimen. Like, tell myself every single day I'm going to do this, and then actually do it.
Yeah.
Because I think once you do that enough times, you kind of train your brain into falling into that frame. Because, I mean, like, just adapting new things. Like, when I had Claire on here.
Claire Parlett?
Yes.
Yeah.
She told me.
She's very funny.
Yeah, she's great. And she said that, like, when you're learning something new, to just focus on the one thing at a time. And I thought that was really smart. Because then you could just, like, I mean, whatever. She was applying it to a craft, I think. But you could apply that to anything. Like, say I want to be more productive. I want to have more of a structure. Okay, so every day I'm going to wake up at this time. And then just do that for a week. And then once you've started to do that, now focus on the next thing. And then now focus on the next thing. And all of a sudden, after like 4 weeks, you're fucking 4 times more productive. You didn't even realize it. I think that's the only way to break away from like having a non-structured. You have to make yourself. It's kind of like the open mics kind of force it too. Like when you go to, I have to go to this mic every week.
Right.
I have to.
Yeah.
And then you kind of introduce a structure into it. At the least, that's a structure, you know.
Yeah, that was like I said, I'm gonna try to be a little bit better about this in this upcoming year, not just hitting the same places over and over and over again. But
what are the places you go to?
So, like one place that I really like when I first started was Will's Northwoods Inn.
Okay.
That's on Sundays, and Joe Fernandez, the host there, he was one of the first people to kind of like make me feel like welcome in the scene. It was like I would go to his mic, and like I remember the first time I was there, after I got done, he was like, "Hey, was that your first time like ever going up?" Because he had never seen me before, and I'm like, "No, it was like my second or third." He's like, "Oh, hell yeah!" He's like, "Keep coming back." He's like, just like one more time for Ryan, everyone. Like, let him hear it. Like, let's let him know we want him back. And I was like, hell yeah. And then after about a month of like going to his mic for a while, then he. Like, I remember I was walking out and they were like all playing some drinking game at the bar, and he's like, "Ryan, you want to sit down and like play with us?" I was like, man, like, I don't think he understood like how much that meant, like in that moment of like, okay, he's like, "Come on, man, like you're one of us now, like,
yeah,
come in." So yeah, that's one I go to a lot, and then Easy Bar on Wednesdays, like I'm there a lot. So.
Mike Dwyer again, right?
Yep, Mike Dwyer. Kaylee Horton, she's also a really good friend of mine there. So
she's there?
Yeah, she hosts.
I didn't know she hosted that.
Right now, they're kind of messing around looking for a second host because the George Howington, who used to host before, he like is doing like business or medical school or something. I don't know what he's doing. I don't want to say he quit comedy, but he quit going to hosting his open mic.
Asshole, becoming a doctor and shit,
or whatever he's doing. Like I hope he's extremely unhappy.
Right.
And I know he is. But yeah, it's like those two.
I hope he becomes a doctor and he has to tell somebody they have cancer.
Right. No. I also like I like Mike Dwyer's mic at the Easy Inn. That one's like occasionally I'll pop in over there.
Oh, I was mixing those up. Okay, so Easy Bar, Easy Inn.
Yeah,
those are different.
Yeah,
okay.
Those are different. And they're both named something very similar. But one Mike's is Easy In, and then Easy Bar is on Wednesdays.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
and that's a late one. It starts at like 10:30 on Wednesdays, but
Is that the one where they post the pictures on Instagram a lot of the time?
they used to. George was the one who like handled like the boomerangs, and like he would come in and like take like the high quality photos where like I got a lot of my photos on Instagram are from there that George took. So
Yeah.
so
Because I think that photo of you that I've seen on posters is that photo.
right, yeah.
That's from that. Yeah, I'm connecting the dots now. I think that's smart, though, to have like an actual photographer there just to take
Right.
like the stills of comedians. Yeah, that's smart.
Like, yeah, and then like even putting them like that was one way like I found out about it was like just people would like repost the like little like 2-second boomerang clip like with what like the premise of their joke was and their like tag, and people would repost it. I'm like, oh, this place looks fun. I'm like, oh, there's like a lot of good comics that show up to this. I'm like, let me check that place out. And then it became one of my favorite mics. Yeah, like guest hosted it a couple times, and that's a lot of fun. Like I like guest hosting more than I would ever want to like host my own open mic.
Because
It's like it's the same thing with like an open mic that's your child, and you have to take care of it, and you're responsible for everything that happens with it. When you're guest hosting, you're just like the fun uncle who gets to come in and like, all right, let's do this for one night, and then if anything bad happens, let's pass it over to the people who are actually responsible for this. I'm like, there you go. Like
it's like being a substitute teacher.
Right. Like you just give the kid back at the end of the day, and you're like, all right, that was fun. And then like, you get some free drinks, make a little money to do comedy, and then you don't have to worry about doing it again next week. So
yeah, it's like being booked on a show as opposed to producing the whole goddamn thing.
It's running punk shows when I was like in my like late teens and early 20s. It was when I was just on the show, that was fun. But like when I actually booked the venue, rented the PA system, and like had to be responsible for anything that happened in the venue while I was renting it out, like you would go up and just have like just a shitty set because you're like can't even think like fuck, like you're on stage, I'm like there with my guitar like looking, I'm like they're not supposed to be in that room, like like just ripping out like VFW halls and shit like that. Like you're not supposed to be back there, like get out of the kitchen. You're trying to play guitar and sing and worry about all that shit at the same time. So it's fuck producing or like having any amount of responsibility for something. That's why I don't ever want to have children. I'm just like people ask me, they're like, aren't you ever gonna have kids? I'm like, I'm 38. I will be 39 in a couple months. I'm like, that ship has sailed. Yeah. I'm like, when they're 20, I'm gonna be like 60. Like fuck that. Like
not even a chance.
No. I despise children, really. So
I don't blame you.
I can't do it. I like like I said, I like my nieces and nephews, but I like giving them back the most.
Yes.
It's like, here you go.
That's the beauty of not having children. You can be the cool guy that's there sometimes, but you don't have to again have that full responsibility. Yeah. Right. It's just, oh my God.
It's like, what are you gonna do today? Literally whatever I want.
Yeah. Like everyone in my family has had, except me and my younger sister, they had kids when they were like between 15 and 21.
Yeah.
And it's just mind-boggling to me because like, bro, oh my God, I can't even imagine that life. I mean, I wouldn't be, you know how much harder it would be to even book this, what we're doing right now? It'd be
if you had a kid, yeah. Impossible.
I mean, like, it's that same thing with like accepting the circumstances as they are now, not wishing for something else. Like, I'm okay with not having a child for a while.
Right.
I'm okay with that. This is kind of nice. I have pets. That's enough.
That's enough, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because a pet is just the right amount of responsibility. It's got to feed you and hang out with you. It's a reciprocal relationship. You're never going to hate me. You're never going to grow up to resent me. That's a guarantee. I mean,
but then you have to watch them die.
That's true, too. True too, and that one's a guarantee as well.
Yeah,
I was thinking that, like, just the day I was looking at Oscar, I was thinking, damn, it's either me or you, dude. Like, it's either me or you.
Right.
Like, that's how it kind of goes.
Yeah.
It's either gonna be me first or you first. And like a dog, it's hard to really wrap your mind around it unless you've been through it before. You've seen them get old.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine.
It sucks.
Yeah. It just happens slowly and gradually, but actually quickly.
Yeah, it was
compared to a human.
Yeah, my dog Clash, who just passed in January, was
It's a great name.
He was he was like a retired racing greyhound.
Wow.
So they have like weird fucked up horse names. You know, like his official name was KJO Happy Class, and then so the adoption agency just shortened that to Class, and I was like, well, my favorite band of all time is The Clash, so it's close enough. So yeah, that's how we got that name. But yeah,
so the dog did not notice the difference.
He didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't notice anything.
It's just the ass sound that he was
kind of
You could call him Ass. He would have came.
Right.
Say, Ass, come here.
Yeah, he got it was like around October. He got diagnosed with lymphoma, and the vet was like, he's probably got 2 months. And I'm like, okay. I'm like,
wow.
let's just make it the best 2 months we can. And then it was, but like everything was looking fine. And then like right around like 2.5 months, like just one weekend, it was like, it just all went to shit. And really, it was like, yeah, it's fast, you know? It was
wow.
like, happens like just like that. So
you mean he was like moved slower, he got tired, like that kind of thing?
He was getting like he was old, so like he was having a little trouble getting up and down the stairs and stuff, and like it was like the last 2 weeks he was looking a little weak on his legs, but like still fine, still like himself, and like interested in food, and like was getting up and down on the couch. So I'm like, all right, he's fine. But then yeah, it was like over the course of a weekend, it just everything just like that, like
wow.
flipped. So
yeah, damn, bro.
Yeah,
scary. Sometimes life just shows up and reminds you. It's like, you know, you ain't sticking around forever. How old?
He was 12, which is old for a greyhound.
Yeah,
they're big dogs. So
I mean, they got that blood pumping.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, people don't realize that's tall everything. I always like to be happy that I'm short because I have a better life expectancy, okay? It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm about 6'2", 6'3", somewhere in there. And like,
yeah, you don't want to be 7 foot.
No, it's a good height, like, because it's good for dating apps because I can just put it in there and I'm actually telling the truth. But not that I'm on dating apps. But yeah, no, it's shorter life expectancy. And like, I had some like fucked up with my hips that like had some rare like bone disease, the same one Bo Jackson had.
Okay.
Like in his hips, like so where there was no blood getting to the tops of my femurs, and so they like had completely eroded, and like the top of my femur was just like a flat edge, and so I had to have both of my hips replaced. Like, and when I like in my mid-30s, and I was like, Jesus fuck, I don't even.
Yeah.
It's like those two things. I'm like, what are some like always like one thing like to kind of bring it back to comedy full circle here. Like it's like people are always like, what's something unique or like tragic that happened, and try to spin it funny. And like, let me tell you, the month after my dog died, it was not fun for people at open mics because I'm like, let me try to work through this, because you know a lot of people also use like stand up as an excuse not to go to therapy. It's like, let me just trauma dump on all of you and let's see if we get a joke. It's like, nope, I'm just going to talk about my dead dog for another 3 weeks, and then you guys will be on this roller coaster with me. So
remember how my dog died last week?
Yeah.
Well, he's still dead.
Still dead. Like,
everybody watches you go up like, oh, this could be a bummer. This could be a bummer, guys.
Jesus Christ, we know your dog's dead. Work through it. Like, talk to a therapist.
Yeah. Just talk to us after the show.
Right.
Like, you don't have to do this right now.
Right.
But did you figure out a way? Did you ever find it? Or did you just kind of abandon it?
I think I got like one little joke out of it that did all right. But it was just, you know, it's like, I try not to be the person who like goes up there with nothing.
Yeah.
And because the few times I've done that, it does not work. So
you said it worked once. Yeah, of all the time
like
you
maybe
tried.
once. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember what it was. That's how memorable that was. So.
That's why freestyling is scary, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you'll see comedians do that where they'll do these, it's not like heckling, because you'll see that. There'll be like heckling shows, but it'll be like a comedian, it's marketed as they have no material for 20 minutes and they're just going to riff.
like an improv show, but stand-up.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that's like a weird distinction where it's not an improv show, but it's improvised stand-up.
Exactly, because it is a different format.
Yes.
Yeah, they're still trying to work within the format of stand-up and make it sound like a set, but they're making it up on the spot. And that is daunting. It's the same thing as a freestyle. Like, that's why, when I go to Power Hour, every time, like the first time I went, I remember thinking, like, this isn't going to work. They're not going to understand this. Like, even though I know that that's what they want is people to freestyle, I'm thinking, this isn't going to translate. There's just no way I'm going to pull this off. And then I do. But that's every time you go up there and you wing it, you have to just accept it. You have to accept this might not work. Like, I could fall flat on my face.
Especially there. That place is the closest thing to like a punk show in stand up.
They will completely destroy you.
Like the fucking energy down there, with the live band and like just like the way that the crowd can get to like in on it, like, and you've got a guy whose sole job is to tell you suck the whole time. Like it's fucking I love that. That's probably the best mic in the city, I would say. I haven't been to them all, but of the ones I've been to, that's the most fun.
I think it's got such a great energy to it because of all those things you just mentioned. Like, it feels almost like a show.
Yeah.
Almost feels like this is like something that is being produced rather than like where a lot of these open mics you go and it's just kind of like a couple people in a room. We got the corner.
Right.
We got a mic. Like, I hooked this up. Let's make this happen. It's a place where you can feel like, and so that's why it didn't surprise me when I heard that they've been around for like 10. They're the longest running. That's one of their marketing points.
I don't know if that's true,
but they are one of the longest.
They are one of the longest running
because there's at least a decade. I'm pretty sure, which is a long time for an open mic.
Very long time for a mic.
Yeah, I mean they've switched locations. They've changed. They've gained owners and lost producers, I should say at least.
Right.
People have come and gone. So it's evolved along the years, but I have to imagine what I'm looking at when I go there is not so different from what it was 5 years before. It's just a strong concept, a strong idea, where you don't see a lot of mics that have a whole lot of ideas into it. It's just kind of a mic. Yeah. And so that's what I love so much about it. I think there's like a...
And it's like that idea without being gimmicky.
Yes, I've said that before too. I was telling Harold Patrick about that when I was talking about why I liked it, because it's like,
it's not a gimmick, it's just what it is.
Well, the heckler thing in particular, that could easily go wrong.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna do that, you have to do it just right.
It's hard. I've done it once, and it's harder than it looks.
I believe it.
Yeah,
because there's an expectation on you that you have to interrupt, but also like
you don't want to interrupt.
Comics don't want you to interrupt them,
right?
And if you were up there, you wouldn't want to be interrupted,
right?
And you don't want to step on their bits.
Cam Honeyegger is, I think, one of the best drinkers. Like,
oh really?
Oh yeah, Cam is like, he's razor sharp wit, and his timing is impeccable, and he will let you like work. Like he'll let you do your joke, but like, and he won't step on your punchline, but he will, like, the second the punchline gets out of your mouth, he's got an even better tag, and it makes you look bad. Like, he's so, like, he knows how to ride that balance of like how to like do the heckling part, but also let you get your shit out too.
Right.
And that's like, I could see like when I was up there, like when I was behind the table with the beers, like I could see like being on that side, I could see people rushing to get the punchline out because they didn't want me to like step on it and say something. Like, no, I'm like, just do your thing, like pause, like allow me to like do a little quip, and like if you work with me, this will go a lot better. But it's like, yeah, it's like, it's not. Once again, it's like one of those. It's like, to bring it back to wrestling too. It's like we're versus each other, I guess, or like antagonistic. But I'm like, we're actually trying to work together to put on a good show. It's just I happen to be the bad guy at this moment. Like, but you have to let me in.
But the problem is, like 3 weeks ago, they were at Power Hour and they were trying to get to their bit, and then they were called a racial slur.
Right. so yeah,
they just couldn't recover from that, and they still haven't. And it's been 3 weeks. Like, they've seen this happen enough times to where, they're in a defense mode already.
Yeah. I mean, there's times where I'm like, I'll sign up and I'll see who the drinker is, and I'm just like, and I see how they are, like, I'm like, no, I'm just taking my name off. I'm just gonna hang tonight. Like, Like,
It's check out.
I'm like, this is not going to be one of those, like, everyone's like, oh, you got to get up there and, like, just work through it and power through it. I'm like, that is not going to be fun.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to learn.
See, that thing I said about train wrecks? Like,
Yeah.
I'm the guy. I'm sitting there watching that happen. Like, dude, this is my shit right now. Like, this guy is killing these people.
Right.
I like the discomfort that produces. I think that is hilarious. But I just feed off that type of thing. I love it. But if you're trying to actually, like, if you're a comedian, see, I'm in a weird position where I can turn that into something.
Right.
With music, I can make it something. Whereas, like, if you're a comedian and you're just not there for that, you don't have to go up there. You don't have to be a part of this.
Like, you can take your name off the list at any point in time. Like,
yeah, because, like, some people, they're ruthless.
Sometimes I'll see if I can power through it, but excuse me, like, I got a pretty good gauge on, like, whether something's gonna, like, go well. Like, if I'm gonna be able to vibe with that person, like, on stage, like, heckling, I'm like, not tonight.
Yeah.
Not tonight. Like, you and me, we're not gonna get along well here, so. Like, and it's not gonna be fun for anybody, so. Like,
we're not made for each other.
I'm like, I'm not here, like, because it's not I mean, as much as it feels like a show, it's not a show.
Exactly.
I'm like, I'm not here to, like, entertain anybody but ostensibly myself. So I'm like, we're like, no, fuck this, I'm not. But that's very, very rare, and it's only if, like, the guy's being, like, a real asshole, and it's maybe somebody I don't particularly care for. But not that I don't care for people, and, you know, I like everybody. That's absolutely.
You already said Cam's name. You could just say it again.
No, I love Cam. I'm not talking about Cam.
Yeah, but I mean, it's in a way too, though. Like I said to you, I think before we started recording, it's cool. That space is cool because it introduces you to that dynamic nature of comedy. Like, it depends on the drinker. Yeah. If the drinker can define the night, so, and every single week is different due to that, but due to other things, but also that, because like, that person sets the tone for everything. And so if you aren't going to be on that wavelength, it's better just to recognize and just stay away from it than it is to bomb and then go home shamefully.
Right.
Because that's likely what will happen. Your intuition is likely correct.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the only mic I think that I could probably go up, eat shit, and then people would like, I would feel bad about it afterwards. Like, I've gotten pretty good at just, like, shaking it off whenever I have a bad set, but I'm like, Power Hour it might make me rethink life. If you go up there and, like, and you get just demolished by somebody who's, like, just so much better than you, it's like, oh no, like, what am I even doing? But yeah, it's like, if there was like actual audience, like, around, then I would probably just go up no matter what, because I'm like, all right, now I am giving you a show here, like, I'm making the heckler look good. But I'm like, for my own ego, I'm like, some nights I'm like, I'll just take the $2 PBR and go hang out. Like,
yeah, and it's a good hang.
Oh yeah, it's a great hang.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some. What Power Hour is known for is being a place where things will happen where they wouldn't happen otherwise, and I will attest to that. It is definitely one of those places, you know. I have a video on my YouTube of me and Claire. It was when my second freestyle there, and I didn't record the first one. It's such a shame. It's such a shame because it was Rovan that night, and he asked me how.
He's a good drinker.
He's a killer.
He's so fucking funny.
And so he was I think it was Friday the 13th. So he was asking somebody how they would kill their ex. And he set me up perfect, you know, because like I said, keep that music going for me. And then I just sensually described how I'm going to creep up behind her and stab her to death. And then I just went right into my freestyle. I didn't realize, like, that is exactly what they need there.
Yeah.
They want that 100%. In particular.
Right.
But I mean, like, that one I only have the legend of that story. And then the second one was with Claire, and I was freestyling. And then, like, at the very end, she gets up, she's saying, like, DJ Khaled, and she starts, like, humping the floor. And it's like, dude, that is the only place you're going to see that go down. You're not going to see a comedian, like a musician trick a comedian into gyrating all over the floor. You're never going to see that.
Claire might have just done that anyway. Claire's a bit of a weirdo, too, and I love her for it. But I've seen Claire
I've seen her hump the floor plenty of times.
Yeah, I've seen her do some weird shit before, so it's like with no power hour involved. So I'm like, that might have just been Claire being Claire. So
I was so proud of myself for bringing that out of her. You know, I'm so proud of myself.
It's good, yeah.
Yeah, when I had her in here, I showed her the thumbnail because on the YouTube video, she's the thumbnail, like humping the floor. She's like, "Oh my god, that's me!" She actually asked me, "Can you take a picture of me next to the thumbnail?"
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I was like, absolutely. But I mean, while you're on here, are there any, like, has you got anything coming up? Is there anything? What's on the horizon for you, Ryan?
Unofficially, I'm doing James and Harold's Cozy Corner in July, but that's like a while out.
I didn't know he was booking that far out.
It was just, I saw him last night, and I'm like, James, put me on that show. Like, I didn't even, like, ask. I just told him. I was like, because I can get away with bullying James a little bit. And he just puts up with it. But I was like, put me on. He's like, yeah, actually, I was going to put you on anyway. And, yeah. That's my James impression. It's spot on. But other than that, no, just doing what I can to, like, let's see about, like I said, I'm just going out there trying to have fun. And if booking happens because of it, great. If not, just be in the vibe. I'm just be a person of interest that people can see.
Yeah.
I'll be around, you know?
A person of interest.
Person of interest.
Just vibes only.
Vibes only, that's it.
Hell yeah, man. Well, you got any, what do we always do at the end here? You got to make sure. You got to plug the social medias, tell the people where they can find you. And they've listened to you for this long. If they're not following you already, they're probably a psychopath.
Right.
And then the second thing would be, you got a message for the kids. You want to tie it all up with a bow. You want to send them home with something they can use. This is your chance. The floor is yours, sir.
All right. The only social I have is naked_Raymond, just like Naked Reagan, the band, but Raymond. Ha ha ha. I'm so fucking clever. Yeah, and if I have one message for the kids, I would say don't kill yourself yet. It gets worse.
That's beautiful.
So, adulthood is worse. So
it gets worse. Just give it like 5 or 10 years.
Exactly.
Like, you're thinking now it's bad, but you haven't really seen the depths of depression. You haven't allowed life to continue to torment you with the circumstances it inevitably will provide.
Hell yeah.
I mean, like, no matter who you are, odds are life hasn't. Like I said earlier, it reminds you. Life shows up and it reminds you what life really is. You get in this false sense of like, oh, these things are nice. And then something happens and you're like, oh, shit, I completely forgot. Death exists.
Death exists.
Something's going to turn up, dude, eventually, and your life will somehow get worse. So just give it a chance. Just give it a little bit of time. You know, you're thinking right now, this is pretty bad. I guarantee you, that bad can, like, you can, like, find a way to turn that bad into something good, and then it'll metamorph into something, like, horrifying, and so then you'll have to, like, turn this dragon into a butterfly, you know? It's super fun. That's what life's all about, turning dragons into butterflies. Or unalive yourself, as the kids say. I would never say to do that. I would never say to do that.
Jesus Christ, I'm going to unalive myself right now after hearing that.
Don't do it yet. Give it 5 or 10 years is what the point of this is.
Yes.
Give it a little bit of time.
Yeah.
All right, kids. And with that being said, Ruse Radio. Clocking out.
Double down, competition couldn't help him to rock. Missed the whole time, holy fell through the flock. That's an ordinary miracle, wealth to the block. It's a balance in the character that's calm and collect. It's apparent his caricature is large.